to prove that humans and zombies can also have children. I just tied up a somewhat clean female zombie just because a catastrophe suddenly struck. Nearly 90% of humans became zombies. But I accidentally activated a romance guide system that is not at all compatible with the apocalypse. It was also at that exact moment that an extremely beautiful female zombie appeared before me without warning. This instantly made me realize that the romance system doesn't seem to specify the species right. Plus, if such a beautiful female zombie is easily abandoned, it would be too much of a waste. The idea had just crossed my mind, and I immediately took a rope out of my pocket. I found the right opportunity and threw it, with force successfully tying up this female zombie. She let out a piercing shriek on the spot, but the next second, I forcefully stuffed a rag into her mouth. She smelled fresh living human flesh within reach, and tomorrow the zombie went crazy on the spot. Her little head was desperately trying to stick to me, but I excitedly squeezed her hand. At that exact moment, the system notification exploded in my head. Seeing these rich rewards, my breathing immediately became rapid. Just these 100 kilos of meat at the start would be enough for my uncle to eat for 2.5 years, not to mention the 2 heaven-defying treasures behind it. But the most thorny problem right now is how to increase Shen Qingwo's affection. After thinking for a moment, I reached out and ripped the rag out of Shen Qingwo's mouth. She immediately started howling, frantically at me, her sharp teeth snapping loudly, which was terrifying to hear. Without saying a word, I directly took out a piece of raw meat from the system space and stuffed it into her mouth. The howling immediately disappeared. She immediately began to frantically shred this piece of meat. Seeing this scene, I sighed helplessly. With that mouth full of sharp teeth, it seems that the reward for the first kiss is out of the question for now. Just at that moment, the door next door suddenly opened, and a man and a woman came out. The woman said, "Hey little brother, my husband and I haven't eaten for 2 days. You have so much food that you haven't lost any. Could you give us a little bit too?" They are a young couple who just got married. The man is named Shen Yang and the woman is named Lian Wanxi. These two usually rely on takeout to survive, so there are no supplies at all at home. In my past life, I believed their sweet words and foolishly shared food with them. I thought they would be grateful to me, but as a result, they took advantage of my absence to raid my room and lock the door from the outside. No matter how much I yelled, they refused to open the door. How could I give food to such ungrateful people who return evil for good? But this Lian Wanxi in front of me could actually be useful. As soon as that thought popped up, the system immediately displayed in front of me Lian Wanxi's identity, married woman. Reward for holding hands with Shen Qingwo, 100 kilograms of fresh fruits and vegetables. Reward for betrayal, a 120 square meter fully furnished apartment. Reward for complete conquest, a luxury villa stocked with 1,000 bottles. Seeing this reward makes me smirk slightly. After all, it's 100 kilograms of fruits and vegetables. Although I don't lack food, a balanced diet is crucial in this apocalypse. Those two, seeing that I was smiling, thought I had accepted their request. This dog, Shenyang, directly made an outrageous demand. Give us 5 kilos of pork first, and then 3 jugs of pure water. I was almost driven crazy by the two of them. When did I ever promise you guys anything? Even if I have too much food and can't eat it all, I'd rather give it to a dog than to you, you ungrateful bunch. After saying those words, I directly dragged Shen Qingwo back inside. Shen Yang's wife glared at me with pure rage, gritting her teeth as she wanted to make a move, but she was terrified of the zombie next to me. Back in the room, I set Shen Qingwo up, opened the system panel, and was pleasantly surprised. Shen Qingwo's affection level had increased by 5 points. I immediately recalled the evolved zombies, who developed intelligence during the end times in my past life. Could Shen Qingwo also evolve? And just for a little bit of meat, her affection went up by 5 points. This is way easier than winning over a regular girl. Thinking about this, I took out a few more pieces of raw meat and fed them to her, successfully raising her affection to 10 points. I planned to keep grinding and feed her all at once, but seeing her cute round little belly, I decided to call it a day. After putting the meat away, I started planning my next moves. A zombie outbreak, and 1 month later, extreme sub-zero weather will hit. I only have 20 days left to prepare. The first order of business is securing supplies. Food and drinks are the top priorities for survival. Next up are warm clothes and medicine. That's easy to handle, but a survival shelter is essential. I'm completely clueless this. Shelter needs to be sturdy enough and able to stay stable in the extreme cold. Finding a ready-made building that meets all these conditions is harder than reaching the heavens. As far as I know, the entire city of Binhai doesn't have such a place. But right at that moment, an idea struck me. I remembered the reward involving Lian Wanxi. The MC called out to the system in his heart. System, are the houses you give as rewards already built, or do they just spawn out of thin air? The system replied, all reward houses are built from scratch. The host can specify any construction location. And what if I have special requirements for the house? For example, using gold bricks and having a secret exit, a warehouse and medical communication equipment, etc. The system went silent for a few seconds. The host must provide the blueprints, plus the communication and medical equipment are not included. The host must source them himself. This made me hyped. So my safe house is well on its way. Just then, there was a sudden knock on the door. Lian Wanzi was standing alone outside. Seeing that nobody opened the door after a long time, she was extremely anxious. In the dark hallway, who knew if a zombie would suddenly pop out? Right when she was about to give up, the door finally opened. A look of joy appeared on Lian Wanzi's face, but then she saw the kitchen knife in my hand. She got a sudden fright and rushed to explain. Don't get the wrong idea. I don't have any weapons on me. I narrowed my eyes and scanned her from head to toe. Lian Wanzi also noticed that I was checking her out. If it were before, she probably would have slapped me. But now, since she needs my help after all, she could only force a smile. I wanted to borrow some food from you. I gave her a disdainful look. I don't care. People won't let you suffer. As long as you lend me some food, yeah, but I don't care at all. Just what? Don't say anything. I'm closing the door. Lian Wanzi listened to his words but stood frozen. Why aren't you afraid that a zombie might suddenly pop out outside? As soon as I finished speaking, a zombie roar came from the distance. Lian Wanzi's pretty face turned pale with fear in an instant. She had no choice but to enter the house, reluctantly. The moment I closed the door, I caught the spying gaze from the apartment diagonally, opposite. When she saw that she was busted by me, she immediately pulled her head back inside. I chuckled softly and closed the door. She's truly a natural talent, with those torture skills. And ducking her head are first class. Shen Tingwo inside the house saw Lian Wanzi and suddenly became frantic. Lian Wanzi was so scared that she subconsciously backed away, screamed, and distanced herself. How can you raise zombies at home? Aren't you afraid? My expression was indifferent. What is there to fear? Isn't it just a zombie? These words involuntarily made her compare me to Shen Yang. She used to admire her husband. But if he had half my courage, she wouldn't have needed to come here to endure this humiliation. Thinking about this, Lian Wanzi sighed and said, "Tell me, what do you want me to do?" A few minutes later, she returned to the living room and yelled at me angrily. I did everything you wanted. Where's the food? I slowly opened the refrigerator, on purpose so that she could see the inside, packed with fresh meat. A dark thought flashed through Lian Wanzi's mind at that exact moment. Should I just knock him out? But reason finally won. In fact, I had always been on guard against her actions. Lian Wanzi ultimately didn't act, which left me a bit disappointed. I was inches away from self-defense. I took out about half a kilo of pork and threw it in front of her. She stared at the meat on the floor with an ugly expression. You're only giving me this? That's already not bad. Initially, I had only planned to give you 250 grams. Lian Wanzi didn't know how precious this half kilo of meat was. In the master bedroom, she only remembered that when she had questioned me, she had paid 300,000 won with the paperwork, and her name was even written on the property title. Lian Wanzi took a deep breath and finally bent down to pick up the pork from the floor, then walked away with a cold face. Seeing her like this, instead of being angry, I was thrilled. The more she suffered, the stronger my pleasure of revenge. Next, the panel of the system popped up with a sizzling sound. The house and blueprints were shown as pending collection. Even though a 100 square meter house is a bit small, I have a way to fix this problem as long as I find another woman whose identity is similar to Lian Wanzi. I can expand the house based on that original 100 square meters. The only current issue is the blueprint for the safe house. Luckily, there might be some survivors from the architecture department at Binhai University. It looks like I need to head out. Early the next morning, I started scavenging for supplies. The main target was room 504 right across. I directly whipped out a wire to pick the lock. I easily got it done in just a few seconds. As soon as I entered the room, I heard a chewing sound coming from the bedroom. I tiptoed over and opened the bedroom door, only to see a white-haired old man devouring a corpse on the bed. I cursed under my breath, grabbed a kitchen knife, and swung it down on the zombie. Who would have thought that it wouldn't do much damage? On the contrary, it completely enraged him. He turned around and lunged at me, baring his teeth and claws. I kicked him right in the chest, sending him flying backwards. Then I rushed forward and slashed several more times until he completely stopped me moving. When I snapped out of it, I realized the kitchen knife already had 2 chips in it. After all, it was just a kitchen knife. Cutting meat is fine, but chopping zombie bones is a bit beyond its limits. It looks like it's time to find a more suitable weapon. Around noon, I had finally cleared all 6 rooms on the 5th floor. I took care of a total of 3 zombies, found a box of mango juice, a bottle of miscellaneous pills, and a tub of protein powder. Although the harvest was plenty, this sharp kitchen knife was completely out of commission. Luckily, I found a baseball bat. I swung it twice and felt pretty comfortable with it. On the other side, Lian Wanzi and Shen Yang were watching through the peephole, witnessing the whole process of my zombie slaughter. Their gaze soon revealed their inner terror, secretly rejoicing that they hadn't acted recklessly before. Otherwise, he would already be dead. It was only when they heard the door close next door that the 2 dared to come out. They carefully searched every room, hoping to find some food that I might have missed. Too bad for them, I cleaned out everything thoroughly. They found absolutely nothing. Is this bastard the reincarnation of a locust? He left nothing edible behind. Looks like I found a steak, but it's covered in hair. Shenyang rolled his eyes. Honey, why? Don't you go asking for food again. Lian Wanzi looked reluctant. We just ate yesterday. We aren't hungry yet. Why don't we wait a bit? You're not hungry now, but you will end up starving. Does he have to feed all the zombies with the food before you go? Before you go, seeing her hesitation, Shenyang immediately took her hand with sincerity. Honey, I want to survive with you. We will eventually wait out the rescue team. Looking at her husband's pleading gaze, Lian Wanzi bit her lip. Okay, I'll go. As soon as Lian Wanzi walked in, she smelled an alluring aroma. At that moment, I walked into the kitchen and quickly came back out with a rice cooker filled with a pot of potatoes. I also cracked open a bottle of malt, juice, and comfortably sat on the sofa to dig in. Lian Wanzi was salivating out of greed because of the aroma, but seeing that I didn't say a word, she could only stand there awkwardly. I took 2 bites, as if I suddenly remembered her. Ah, I almost forgot about you. Saying that, I got up and grabbed a plate. I put some meat on it. Lian Wanzi thought it was for her. The moment she joyfully prepared to reach out to take the food, I bypassed her and walked straight toward the sofa. After removing the rag from Shen Qingwo's mouth, she immediately buried her head in the plate. She began to devour it. On the other hand, Lian Wanzi's face was filled with embarrassment. She tried to awkwardly change the subject. So you cleared the entire 5th floor today? Yeah, I'm getting ready to leave. Before leaving, I'm going to gather more supplies. Hearing this, Lian Wanzi instantly widened her eyes. What, you're going to leave? There are zombies everywhere outside. Where can you go? I smiled and didn't answer. You don't want me to leave. Hearing these words, Lian Wanzi's face was filled with anger. It's not at all that I don't want you to leave. I just hope you die outside. But even though she said that, there was a certain hidden worry in her eyes. What if I left with all the food? Won't she and Shenyang starve to death? Tell me, why did you come to see me? I want to trade food with you. I couldn't help but sneer. I expected Lian Wanzi to come back, but I didn't expect her to be this thick-skinned. 4 days passed in the blink of an eye. I turned the entire building completely upside down. And over these past few days, Shen Xingwo's appetite became more and more insane. From half a kilo of meat at the start to be satisfied now. 2.5 kilos aren't even enough to fill a gap, yet her lower belly doesn't seem bloated at all. If her affection level weren't constantly increasing, I really wouldn't want to feed her anymore, without caring whether she understood or not. I started to threaten her. I've been feeding you for 6 days. If you still dare to have twisted thoughts and bite me, I will throw you out here to fend for yourself. After saying that, I took the rag out of her mouth. She didn't roar, like at the start, but just opened her mouth, waiting for me to feed her. If you dare bite me, I won't give you anything to eat. Do you understand? Since you're not saying anything, I'll take that as a yes. I cautiously reached my hand out toward Shen Qingwo. As a result, she opened her mouth bluntly to take a bite. I immediately yelled, no. She was stunned by my shout, then tilted her head to look at me. I cautiously reached my hand out again, but Shen Qingwo still bit without hesitation. After about a dozen back and forths, just when I was about to give up, she finally didn't bite anymore but stared at my face, seeming to want to judge through my expressions if this thing could be eaten. I felt an insane joy in my heart and gently patted her head. Shen Qingwo seemed to understand what I meant and really didn't bite anymore, excited. I took out another piece of meat, held it out to her, and nodded my head at her. This time, she directly started eating. After eating several more times, she would wait for me to nod before eating. In order to check if she could only restrain her aggressiveness when she was tied up, I decided to do another experiment. First, I untied the ropes on her body. Then I put a plate of meat on the coffee table. Shen Qingwo stood up stumblingly and walked toward me. She first looked at the meat on the table. Then she looked at me, blinking her eyes. Next, she raised her hand and pointed at the meat on the plate. I was overjoyed in my heart. I nodded my head at her. Shen Qingwo then picked up the plate and began to eat in huge bites. It must be said that this way of eating is still just as ugly, but what's amazing is that Shen Qingwo's affection level is only at 40 and she is already able to not attack me. If the affection level reaches 100, won't I have a totally obedient zombie lackey then? It's more like a romance system. It's clearly a master and servant enslavement system. Meanwhile, on the other side, Shen Yang, these past few days, has been restless. He already knows that I'm leaving soon. Whether it's for food or for revenge, he doesn't want me to leave alive. But he definitely can't do anything on his own. After all, I can easily solo zombies. So Shen Yang started gaslighting his wife again. My honey, we absolutely cannot let this kid leave. At least not with the food. Why don't you go borrow some food from him one more time? While he is asleep, you open the door and let me in. We'll take him out together tonight. Out of guilt, Lian Wanzi granted him almost anything he asked for. In the end, she still nodded her head. Shen Yang immediately got hyped. That's awesome. As soon as it gets dark, we make our move. I'll go prepare first. Looking at Shen Yang's retreating back, Lian Wanzi flashed a bitter smile. He didn't even ask for a specific plan. It seems he already knows. On the other side, since I intended to leave early tomorrow morning, I prepared to go to bed early, but barely as I lay down, I heard a knock on the door. I opened the door with a smirk plastered on my lips. So soon, hungry again. Hearing these words, Lian Wansi secretly cursed and wanted to punch me in the face, but she held back. She even put on a seductive expression. Not just hungry, let me in. I stepped aside to let her pass. Just as Lian Wansi was walking past me, I raised my hand and gave her a slap. The bouncy feeling made me sigh in admiration. Lian Wansi, holding her butt, glared at me with pure anger. You have to give me another biscuit. Her look of being both angry and helpless made me burst out laughing. So this is what it feels like to be a villain. I have zero mercy for them. How did the two of them treat me in my past life? This is karma. Lian Wansi lowered her head, a burning fury flickering in her eyes. Just wait until the night passes, we'll see if you're still laughing. A few hours later, Lian Wansi came out, leaning awkwardly and lightly against the wall. It was only a dozen steps from the bedroom to the door, but it took her several minutes to make them. The moment she opened the door, Shen Langang sneaked inside. So, is he asleep? He's asleep, that's awesome. I'm going to take him out right now. After saying that, Shen Yang gripped the fruit knife in his hand. But he hadn't taken a few steps before he saw a figure standing at the bedroom door. Shen Yang was so terrified that he scared the soul right out of him. Didn't you say he was asleep? Then Wansi also got a massive fright, but she immediately noticed something abnormal. That's the zombie raised by that bastard. How did she get out of the ropes? Honey, what do we do? Should we back out first? Shen Yang was in a total dilemma. He was afraid of zombies. Sure, but he knew even more clearly that if he missed tonight, he would never get this chance again. Plus, Shen Xingwo looked brainless, which gave Shen Yang the illusion that he could win, and that he was capable of pulling it off. But to be safe, he still told Lian Wansi, honey, distract her attention. I'll finish her from behind. Lian Wansi was almost scared to death hearing that. Don't worry, I won't let her hurt you. Shen Yang promised on the surface, but deep down, he was already prepared. Be prepared, Ito. To sell out his wife at any moment. But Lian Wansi was not having it. She didn't love Shen Yang enough to die for him. At that moment, an impatient voice came from the bedroom door. I say, how long do you two plan on chatting? Hearing my voice, Shen Yang and Lian Wansi's hearts were about to jump straight out of their throats. Weren't you asleep? You guys are making so much noise? Even if I were asleep, I'd be woken up by the racket. Seeing the calm smile on my face, Lian Wansi turned pale. Honey, let the zombie hold him back. Let's run. Are you talking about her? Under the disbelieving gaze of the two, I raised my hand and rubbed Shen Qingwo's head. Not only did she not attack me, but she let me pet her submissively. This scene straight up made the two wet themselves from fear. How is this possible? It's one thing that you don't act like a zombie, but how come even your habits are completely different from other zombies? Shen Yang suddenly pushed Lian Wansi toward me and bolted for the door. But he didn't even take a step before I caught up to him and put him down with one bat strike. Wait, I have something to say. I beg you don't kill me. But I wasn't in the mood to waste breath on him. I finished him off cleanly. Lian Wansi almost died of fright seeing this scene. This was all Shen Yang's idea. He was the one who wanted to hurt you. It has nothing to do with me. I beg you forgive me. I swear I will serve you as my master from now on. Lian Wansi was still harboring a thin ray of hope. She thought I wouldn't have the heart to kill her. Who would have thought that I would say coldly, you don't know that you're wrong. You just know that you're about to die. At that exact moment, Shen Xingwo walked over and pointed at the two corpses on the floor. I shook my head. No, they are already spoiled. Early the next morning, I took Shen Qingguo and left the apartment on a motorcycle. It's worth noting that the roar of the engine along the way attracted countless zombies, but these buddies couldn't catch up to me at all and could only watch me speed off. In a flash, arriving at Binhai University in order to ditch the zombie army behind me, I was preparing to find a random building to hide in when I suddenly heard someone calling out to me. Over here, I hesitated for a moment, then ditched my bike and ran over there. The person who had just called me saw that I was arriving and opened the window while making an alliance. I braced the window frame with one hand and jumped through the window in style, but Shen Qingwo was stiff and didn't know how to jump out of the window. She could only stand there foolishly in front of the window. Several enthusiastic male classmates wanted to go up and give her a hand, but I pushed them back. No need, I'll do it. After I finished speaking, I extended my upper body and grabbed Shen Qingwo's armpits with my hands. It didn't take me much effort to pull her out. A guy who looked like a second-generation rich kid said, you must have been sent by my father to rescue us. Right? This boy is named Du Yangxiang. Relying on his status as the mayor's son, he had deceived the others by telling them that his father would send people to save them. He thus became the leader of this group of survivors. I didn't pay any attention to him. I pulled the person back and asked, who are you? Do I even know you? The expression on Du Yangxiang's face instantly turned ugly. He had said that just to show off and I didn't give him any face. In order to save his dignity, he began to adopt the posture of a leader. That means you're a survivor just like us. In that case, you must follow our rules. A burly lackey behind him immediately stepped forward to snatch my backpack. After slapping his hand away, I took a step back and asked, "What do you think you're doing?" Du Yangxiang looked solemn. "So that everyone can survive, please hand over the supplies and we will distribute them equally." I scoffed inside. "Does your life or death have anything to do with me?" Hearing this, Du Yangxiang deliberately raised the volume of his voice so that everyone could hear it. "If everyone were as selfish as you, we would have starved to death long ago. What we are doing is using the resources in the most rational way possible." I couldn't take it anymore and cut him off directly. "Your life and death have nothing to do with me. I don't intend to form a party with you guys either, so I will never hand over my supplies." The change-up guy smiled coldly and raised his hand to point outside the window. "Then I'm sorry. Please leave immediately." And at that moment, outside the window, the zombies I had attracted earlier were crowding against the glass and drooling. Of course I won't leave now. Plus, my goal here hasn't been achieved yet. There are so many classrooms here. I will naturally leave after a few days. For the foreign students, they preferred to listen to Gu Xingyu, so they surrounded me with apparent calmness. "Why are you talking to Master Gu like that? If we hadn't saved you just now, you would have been dead long ago. This is a school, you're an outsider. Why should you stay in our classroom?" I couldn't help but sneer. "It's the apocalypse, and you're talking logic to me. Plus, even if I were to stay by force, what could you guys even do? Just you. Bunch of cherry blossoms who have never seen blood you dare fight with me. Who crawled out of mountains of corpses and seas of blood just as tension was rising between the two sides. A beautiful fresh-faced woman wearing a long dress walked in. What's going on here? This guy wants to squat in our place? We're getting ready to kick him out." She frowned slightly. "If he wants to stay, let him stay. We have so many empty classrooms here. Why kick someone out? Aren't you just sending him to his death?" Everyone disperse. The students hesitated and looked at Gu Xingyu until he nodded his head. And everyone dispersed. That's when her gaze, passing over me, landed on Shen Qingwo. "Is this your sister? She's really pretty." "You could say that." "Hello, little sister. What's your name? And why are your eyes so red?" Her enthusiasm received zero response. I hurried to explain. "She's wearing colored contact lenses. My sister is a bit introverted. She doesn't like to talk." "Don't worry about it. The other party believe my lies very easily. After all, right now, where would you find a zombie that doesn't actively bite? Then you can settle in here for now. The first, second, and third floors are safe. Pick any empty classroom. But remember, the fourth floor and above are very dangerous." Soon it was noon. In front of a classroom where the word warehouse was written, all 8 students were lining up. They were all waiting to receive their ration for the day, but most people only received a few biscuits. Gu Xingyu was hiding in the warehouse to secretly eat some chicken drumsticks he had obtained by scamming. But at that moment, a rich aroma of meat spread out. A dozen people stopped lining up and all rushed out following the smell. Smelling this aroma, everyone rushed downstairs. At this moment, in a classroom on the second floor, I was starting a fire to cook. Those guys were red with envy. And Gu Xingyu even walked straight in. "Friend, could we trade a bit of your food for ours? I don't want your few moldy things." As soon as I said that, a dead silence fell over the place. After a long moment, someone timidly said that the architect must be in another building. Probably all turned into zombies long ago. Hearing these words, I was very disappointed. The main reason I came here was to find someone who could design safe house blueprints, but it seems I came for nothing. But right at that moment, a weak voice came from the crowd. "I major in architecture." Everyone looked in the direction of the sound. I saw a girl with braids and black-rimmed glasses, who looked quite timid. Being stared at by so many people, the girl was visibly a bit nervous. I stared her down blankly. This hesitant appearance makes it hard not to suspect that she came to beg for food. It seems she saw the disdain in my eyes. The braided girl plucked up her courage. "My name is Ruan Yuhan, and I'm top of my class. If you don't believe me, you can ask our other classmates." "I believe you, but do you know how to draw blueprints?" She abruptly raised her head, looking at me with a surprised expression. I wasn't doing divination, but because of the system panel in front of me, Ruan Yuhan's identity, architecture student, affection level 0, reward for holding hand solar, power generation equipment, or sewage purification device, your choice. Reward for infidelity, a complete monitoring system setup, reward for complete conquest, 4 automatic turrets plus 100 special ammunition rounds. Damn, these rewards just keep getting better, one after another. If I could get them all, the shelter upgrade would be miracle. Hearing my question, Yuhan nodded her head like a chicken pecking for food. "I do." "Then, do you know how to draw somewhat special architectural blueprints?" In Yuhan's little head, A big question mark suddenly popped up, but for the food, she still agreed. Alright, you're hired. The pay is 1 bowl of meat and 1 bowl of veggies a day. Ron Yuhan thought it would be nice just to have meat. She didn't expect to get vegetables too, so she happily accepted the job. Some are happy, others are sad. Kusingyu gave me a dark glare, then left with his lackeys crawling away. Arriving in the stairwell, a lackey named Liu Yi looked left and right, making sure no one was following. Before saying to Gu Xingyu, "That kid is too arrogant, we should kill him," Gu Xingyu thought for a moment. "No, you saw his skill fighting zombies during the day. We're no match for him right now." Gu Xingyu wanted to teach me a lesson more than anyone, but unfortunately he didn't have the strength. The lackey Liu Yi wanted to say something else, but Gu Xingyu had already left, slamming the door. Liu Yi looked at his back and snorted coldly. "You get to eat good meat every day, so of course you don't care about his food, but I'm still starving, no way. I absolutely have to find a way to get my hands on his supplies." On the other side, Ron Yuhan finished eating. She licked the corners of her mouth with a look of regret. I saw it and asked her, "Do you want more?" Ron Yuhan shook her head. "No, I've already eaten my reward for today. If I go over my quota for tomorrow I'll have to go hungry." Hearing these words, I felt a twinge in my heart. "Then let's start working," Ron Yuhan replied and immediately entered work mode. She opened her backpack and pulled out a laptop. "Tell me what you want." "I want a blueprint for a safe house shelter. 100 square meters, the durability must be high. There also needs to be a warehouse, a secret exit, a rest area, and a bathroom. 100 square meters is still too small for a safe house shelter, because we also need to leave room for planting and breeding zones." No, I looked at her with a bit of surprise. This girl thinks even further ahead than I do. That's true. So you also need to leave some room for expansion. I understand. I'll start right away. Hearing these words, I asked her eagerly, "How long will it take to draw the blueprint?" "It will probably take several days. If changes need to be made later on, it will take another 2 or 3 days. I immediately frowned. According to my memories of my past life, a cold wave will arrive in just over a week. If I don't move into the safe house before then, I'll have to stay in this drafty school building and freeze to death. I need you to draw the blueprint within 7 days. Are you confident?" Ron Yuhan hesitated a bit at first, but her gaze quickly became firm. "No problem. 7 days it is." I took Shen Qingwo to the roof. I wanted to find a suitable spot to build a safe house shelter. I soon discovered that there was a wasteland behind the school. It's blocked by the school building in front and backed against the mountain behind. If you don't enter the school, it's hard to find it. Plus, there aren't many zombies here. I took my baseball bat and prepared to clear out the area. I climbed out of the first floor window and took a glance around me. There were 4 zombies wandering around the vicinity. Even though I killed one quietly, I still alerted the other 3. The one running in front was a guy in a t-shirt. Looks like he was an athlete when he was alive. Unlike the slow zombies, this athlete zombie runs super fast. He arrived in front of me in the blink of an eye. I stayed calm and dodged, then struck him with a swing. As expected of an athlete, the zombie could still move after being hit. I immediately followed up with another strike. At that moment, the third zombie also lunged at me. I took him down with a roundhouse kick. Then I finished him off with 2 more bat strikes. At that moment, the last zombie also lunged at me. I didn't have time to get back up and was pinned to the ground. The zombie opened its bloody maw, it bit into my baseball bat, and chewed it up and down. I cursed internally. I tried to throw off the zombie on top of me but failed several times. Just when I had gathered all my strength to try one more time, a delicate little hand suddenly grabbed the zombie's neck and threw it away. I turned around in surprise. I discovered that the owner of this little hand was actually Shen Qingwo. At that moment, the zombie that had been thrown away came back, screaming. Before I could even stand up, Shen Qingwo instantly pinched the zombie's neck and twisted it with force. Only a loud crack was heard, and the zombie fell to the ground with its head tilted. I smiled. I didn't expect Shen Qingwo, who looked so sweet and weak, to have so much strength. It seems I was right. She really did evolve when I saw Shen Qingwo's skin turn from gray-white to slowly becoming pink. I had a hunch. Now I've finally gotten confirmation. I opened the system panel and found that Shen Qingwo's affection had already increased to 50. It's way easier to please her than a woman. She doesn't need designer bags or makeup. You just need to give her food. She can even protect me. Shen Qingwo, who was being stared at by me, had zero emotion on her face, looking as if she wasn't the one who had just made a move earlier. After a break, I continued to clear out zombies. Shen Qingwo only acts when I face a life or death danger. The rest of the time, she just watches the scene silently from the side. It seems that to command her to do work, I must keep raising her affection. I stayed busy until the sky turned dark and I went back to the school building. I arrived at the room on the south side. I was about to take off my clothes to wash the blood off my body, but I discovered that Shen Qingwo had also walked in, taking a bath in front of a woman. This is truly the first time, even though I feel a bit uncomfortable, but thinking that she's just a zombie after all. After quickly taking a shower, I was about to put on clean clothes, but I suddenly looked at Shen Qingwo. even though I don't know if zombies sweat the battle from just now had also stained her body with blood. So I decided to help her wash up as well. Right now, Shen Qingwo is staring straight into my eyes. Even though I know that there is no gender distinction in her mind, my face still turns red in spite of myself. I gritted my teeth and quickly undid her clothes. Her skin white as jade almost blinded my dog eyes. Just looking at her made me want to act up. I hurried to mutter in my heart that she was a zombie, which calmed me down a bit. I rushed to wash her quickly. 1 minute later, after the washing up, I looked up and locked eyes with Shen Qingwo. Well, you should feel more comfortable now. No, but she was staring intently into my eyes. Unlike in the past, there seemed to be an emotional fluctuation in Shen Qingwo's eyes, and I don't know if it was just my imagination. So, curious, I leaned in to take a close look. The next instant, Shen Qingwo's body suddenly moved closer. I didn't expect at all that she would pull a sneak attack, and it was too late to dodge, but the crazy tearing I had imagined didn't happen. A soft and slightly sweet sensation came from my lips. My eyes were filled with absolute shock. It wasn't until the notification sound of the system rang out that I snapped back to reality. Congratulations to the host for receiving the first kiss reward. Zombie virus vaccine. After use, you can become immune to infection by the zombie virus. Looking again at Shen Qingwo's affection level on the system panel, I was once again surprised. I didn't expect a simple bath to boost her affection level to 60, straight into the in love stage. I turned off the system panel and asked, Shen Qingwo, do you have feelings now? Shen Qingwo tilted her head. Her expression was a bit goofy and cute. Obviously, she can't understand such complex words. So I switched to a simpler question, can you understand what I'm saying? This time she nodded her head. I tried asking a few other questions, but as soon as I hit something, even slightly complicated, Shen Qingwo would fall into a daze. So it seems that wanting Shen Qingwo to act on her own isn't very realistic. But as her affection level increases, she might actually regain human emotions. And at that point, she will definitely be able to understand more complex instructions. But for now, it's better to get out of this bathroom first. Back in the classroom, I asked Ruan Yuhan for some info. I learned that the mini fire station is right next to the door of the administrative building. But to get there, you have to bypass the zombie horde on the playground. I silently kept this information in mind, then sent Ruan Yuhan back to rest. Soon, only I and Shen Qingwo were left in the classroom. I took out the zombie virus vaccine and injected it directly into my arm. By pushing the whole ampule of medicine now, the zombie threat is even weaker to me. At that moment, on the 3rd floor of the school building, 2 people were sneaking toward the stairs. One of them looked worried. Is nothing really going to happen if we do this? The other person said with teeth chattering, what could possibly happen? No matter how strong he is, there are only 2 people including a little girl. Tezhu, you're not afraid of a girl, right? This man was indeed Liu Yi. Quickly, they approached the classroom where I was staying, one behind the other, and discovered that the front and back doors of the room were locked from the inside. But that couldn't stop the escapees. Liu Yi, rich in experience, gripped the window frame and jimmied it open with a bone knife. Then with a flip, he leaped inside. Tezho was not as agile as Liu Yi. He first threw one foot over the window and sat on it, but as he was about to bring his other foot over, he noticed the small figure in the classroom, suddenly standing up. He was so scared that he stammered nervously, Liu Yi, there's someone here. He wanted to flee, but his chest was also pierced through by a hand. Shen Qingwo looked at her blood-covered hands, and a feeling of hunger suddenly surged in her mind, and this impulse urged her to lick the blood. In the end, she controlled herself. The next day, when I woke up, I saw Shen Qingwo excitedly showing me the blood on her hands. My gaze froze. What happened? Shen Qingwo looked toward the window again. I followed her gaze and saw one person lying on the floor and another leaning against the window with a huge hole in his chest. A nunchaku had fallen next to the corpse. Seeing this, I immediately understood. Shen Qingwo then grabbed my hand and shook it. I instantly knew what she meant. So I took her to the bathroom to wash the blood off her hands. Then we went back to the classroom. I had just thrown the 2 corpses out the window. When Ruan Yuhan arrived with a laptop, she gave me a nod, then she headed toward the table and started to work. A bit later, the disgusting face of Gu Xingyu appeared at the classroom door. Where is Liu Yi? What did you do to him? I looked at him with indifference. Who is Liu Yi? Stop playing dumb with me. It's that guy with the green hair. I then realized. It turns out one of the 2 from last night was named Liu Yi, but I acted like I didn't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know any Liu Yi. You think I'm going to believe you? He didn't go missing sooner or later. He went missing as soon as you arrived. If it's not you, who else could it be? Why are you barking like a dog here? If someone is missing, go look for him yourself. Don't make noise here. The sound of our argument attracted many students to watch, including Liu Yi, and she asked in astonishment, what's going on? What happened? Gu Xingyu's tone softened then. Liu Yi and Tezhou have gone missing. Liu Yi thought for a moment. Could it be that they went out to look for supplies? Impossible. Without my order, they wouldn't leave without permission. I took the opportunity to chime in. If you're so sure they would listen to you, maybe they are already sick of you and they just ran away while you were asleep. You never know. Gu Xingyu's eyes were red with rage. He wanted to square up right on the spot, but unfortunately, he couldn't beat me. Lu Yai wanted to defuse the explosive atmosphere. Maybe they really went out for a reason. They'll come back later, be patient and wait. I'll trust Lu Yi this once. If they aren't back before dark, I will hold you accountable. Gu Xingyu left with a cold face. While passing by the warehouse, the glasses guy guarding it reported to Gu Xingyu. The food in the warehouse is almost gone, so send someone to get some. All right, I'll take care of it right away. The glasses guy was about to leave, but Gu Xingyu stopped him. Wait, I'll give you a new list. Organize things according to this one. And what was written on this list were all people who don't really obey him. Keeping this kind of person in the camp is a net loss. It's better to send them out for resources. If they die outside, it will save food. It's a win-win. The corners of Gu Xingyu's mouth gradually stretched into a smug smile. At this rate, in a few days, only those who blindly obey me will be left here. At that point, he will easily be able to teach a lesson to that guy who made him lose face. Suddenly, a soft and intoxicating voice came from not far away. Oh, Xingyu, so you're here. I've been looking for you everywhere. Gu Xingyu looked up. He saw Zhang Weiwei dressed in bright colors walking toward him. How did you get here? Where's Lu Yi? Why isn't she with you? A classmate has a fever. She's helping to take care of him. Hearing this, Gu Xingyu flashed a lecherous smile. Since Lu Yi is not available right now, wouldn't this be the perfect chance to thank you? Thinking of this, Gu Xingyu's gaze toward Zhang Weiwei turned perverted. What do you want from me? Zhang Weiwei bit her lip. Can't I look for you without a reason? Of course you can. I miss you too. A glint of shyness flashed through Zhang Weiwei's eyes. Oh, stop it. You're making me blush. Seeing this expression, Gu Xingyu felt a heat in his lower belly, and an evil flame surged. He wanted to grab Zhang Weiwei by the waist impatiently, but she dodged him. Gu, aren't you afraid of being seen by the others? I'd be embarrassed. Hearing this, Gu Xingyu burst out laughing. Alright, I actually need to go to the warehouse to do inventory anyway. Why don't you come with me? Zhang Weiwei nodded her head repeatedly. Okay. The two entered the warehouse one after the other. Gu Xingyu, who was behind, locked the door. He was impatient to get busy with Zhang Weiwei, but she dodged him. Gu Xingyu was anxious and scratched his head. What now? Zhang Weiwei first cast a glance at the supplies in the warehouse. Then she said nonchalantly, Gu, there doesn't seem to be a lot of food. Gu Xingyu replied casually. Enough to last until my dad arrives. He started undressing as he spoke. Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up. It wouldn't be good if someone found out later. Zhang Weiwei giggled. Gu, can your dad really spare the time to save you? What do you mean, Zhang? Weiwei suddenly changed her tone and laughed while covering her mouth. I'm just guessing. Don't be too nervous. By the way, I suddenly remembered Lu Yi. I'm going to go help her. Bye, Gu. Zhang Weiwei finished speaking and walked out, leaving Gu Xingyu alone on the spot, like a clown. On my side, I was currently clearing out zombies, but I suddenly heard cries for help in the distance. I picked up my baseball bat and looked in that direction. I saw that near the window of a nearby building, a woman was screaming at me. This made me sigh. This woman is asking for death, isn't she? In the harsh reality of the apocalypse, the situation is extremely dangerous. The zombies in the open area heard the noise. They slowly headed toward the direction where the sound came from. I told Shen Qingwo, let's go. Today, we can clock out early. But this enraged the woman in the building. Where are they going? Didn't they hear my cries for help? Seeing that more and more zombies were surrounding her, she had no choice but to shut up. She started crying in a low voice. Back in the classroom, I asked Ruan, Yuhan, hey, did you hear a woman screaming just now? Ruan Yuhan nodded her head. Yes, I heard it. Sounds like Professor Wen. Professor Wen. Do you know her? She's our school doctor. I thought for a bit. Do you want me to go save her? My question made Ruan Yuhan's hand holding the mouse freeze for an instant. I just think she might be useful, by the way. The infirmary building and the administration building? I see. After finishing speaking, I took Shen Qingwo to take a shower. 2 more days passed. The number of surviving students decreased even further. When I first arrived, there were about 50 surviving students left. Now it's estimated that only around 30 remain. A feeling of panic began to spread. That day, I pointed out Shen Qingwo to Ruan Yuhan, and the reason why I took 2 days before saving people was to let that woman named Wenning fall into complete despair. That way, when I go save her, she will be grateful to me. Half an hour later, I arrived at the destination, but a dozen zombies had gathered. It's impossible to take them all out by surprise. I have to move fast. I took a deep breath. I dashed toward the mini fire station. The zombies immediately spotted me and rushed toward me while roaring. Seeing this, I ran with all my might, dashing into the mini fire station before the zombies could surround me. 2 walkie-talkies, a fire axe, and a rescue rope. I took them all. While I was focused on looting the supplies, I didn't expect that the zombies were already only 3 meters away from me. Luckily, I reacted fast enough. I turned rushed into the restroom on the third floor of the admin building. The consciousness of Wenning was already a bit blurry. In a daze, she vaguely heard a loud sound of a door being kicked open. Then a guy asked, "Is she dead?" Too bad I arrived too late. Wenning abruptly opened her eyes and screamed with all her might, "I'm still alive. Please, save me." I tossed a baseball bat to her. "Can you still move? If you want to live, take this weapon." When Ning gritted her teeth, she stood up by leaning against the wall. "I can." I led Wen Ning out of the room. I saw a zombie staggering. I took a few steps forward and brought the axe down on the zombie's head. In an instant, the zombie froze. Seeing this, I couldn't help but sigh. This axe is really handy. Wen Ning, who was following behind, was straight up stunned. This person kills zombies way too easily and comfortably. When I had already reached the stairs, she snapped out of it and hurriedly followed. There were a lot of zombies in the stairwell, all of them having entered with me just now. The terrain outside was too open. Once I got surrounded, I would have to face attacks from all directions at the same time. But now, there is only one stairwell. Only one zombie can reach me at a time. I naturally have plenty of confidence. Plus, having the high ground, I can easily strike the head and neck of the zombies. Within a few minutes, the bodies of the zombies covered the stairs. Wenning involuntarily reevaluated me. My image became bigger and bigger, and sacred in her heart. But right at that moment, her ankle was suddenly grabbed. She saw a female zombie with a half-devoured face right next to her foot. Instantly, Wen Ning was so scared that she didn't dare to move. Her entire body was shaking like a leaf, and her little eyes were tearful. As for me, I remained unfazed. "Aren't you going to hit it with the baseball bat? Are you saving it for the new year?" My words accidentally made Wen Ning's face flush. She raised the baseball bat above her head, closed her eyes, and struck it violently. I watched all of this coldly. I kept this zombie alive on purpose, wanting to use this most crucial and direct method to make Wen Ning grow up quickly. I nodded my head. "Very well." After receiving my approval, Wen Ning felt an unprecedented joy. Shortly after, Ruan Yuhan stood near the window and shouted with excitement, "You're back." And Shen Qingwo was standing next to her, her deadpan face showing zero emotion, but her eyes were still following us from afar. There were also many students, attracted to the noise, including Zhang Weiwei. She was looking outside with sparkling eyes right now. When I arrived at the window with Wen Ning, Ruan Yuhan was about to open the window, but Zhang Weiwei was faster than her. She opened the window and reached out her hand to me, but I ignored her and leaped through the window. It was Wen Ning who took Zhang Weiwei's hand and climbed up with effort. After stabilizing herself, Wen Ning said, "Thank you." Zhang Weiwei's smile was a bit stiff. "You're welcome, Professor Wen. Welcome to our group." The other students immediately stepped forward and surrounded Wen Ning, all shouting at the same time. It was clear that Wen Ning was very popular with the students. I ignored this noisy group of people and took Shen Xingwo upstairs. "Wait for me." Seeing that I was leaving, Wen Ning directly ditched this group of students and trotted to follow me. The students looked at each other, not understanding why Professor Wen had ditched them and run away at that moment. 4 women appeared. At the same time, in front of my classroom door, on the second floor, Ruan Yuhan pushed up her glasses, blocking the other 3 people. Among the 4 people, she alone was there in the most legitimate way. The other 3 didn't even know why they had come. I looked at the 4 women at the door and was surprised for a moment, but I quickly returned to normal and lifted the lid of the pot. A rich aroma instantly filled the entire classroom. The 4 women smelled this aroma. They all swallowed their saliva involuntarily. I first filled a bowl for myself and Shen Xingwo. Then I filled another one and handed it to Ruan Yuhan. Ruan Yuhan ate while casting proud glances at the others. Wen Ning had been miserable for so many days. She completely held out until now purely on willpower. So after smelling the aroma, her reaction was the most exaggerated. Her saliva was about to flow like a river. But she still forced out a thank you. "Thank you for saving me." Suddenly, the system panel appeared in front of me. Target name, Wen Ning. Status useful. Affection 50. Reward for holding hands. First aid kit, martial arts secret. Submission reward, zombie virus vaccine. Complete guide. Medical grade medical equipment set. Seeing this, I smiled with satisfaction. It seems that's right, no matter what. This affection climbed directly to 50. I asked Wen Ning, "Do you want to eat?" "Yes, very much. Work for me. I can give you the same treatment as her. 1 bowl of meat and 1 bowl of veggies a day." Ruan Yuhan, who was eating happily, heard these words. Suddenly, the meat in her bowl didn't taste as good anymore. Wen Ning agreed without hesitation. "No problem." Immediately, I served her a bowl. She immediately devoured it. Looks like she was truly starving. I once again cast my gaze on the other 2. Target name, He-Man. Status art student pianist. Affection 0. Hand-holding reward, piano skill. Submission reward, complete collection of piano sheet music. Complete guide reward, artistic talent for the piano. Target name, Zhang Weiwei. Status gold digger student. Affection 10. Hand-holding reward, 1 vehicle. Submission reward, 1 apartment of 100 square meters. Complete guide reward, 1 mansion of 1,000 square meters. After questioning the system in my mind, I learned that the rewarded vehicle could specify any model from a luxury little Ferrari to an off-road heavy truck. We can even obtain a tank. What's more, that apartment of 100 square meters is quite attractive and can directly double my safe house. It seems that this girl, Zhang Weiwei, really has some practical value. As for He-Man's reward, it's a bit lacking. Zhang Weiwei sensitively perceived the change in my gaze. She flipped her hair back and opened her mouth. With a soft voice, "Excuse me, can I also work for you?" Ruan Yuhan listened next to her, instantly getting goosebumps. She felt truly disgusted in her heart, but she didn't think Zhang Weiwei's seduction would work. After all, in her mind, I only keep people who are useful to me. She never thought that I would accept directly. Nodding my head, "All right, the treatment is the same as for the two of them." Ruan Yuhan immediately widened her eyes. What is this Zhang Weiwei capable of? Why can she get the same treatment as her? At that moment, Zhang Weiwei took the bowl I handed her, her fingers seemingly brushing against my hand inadvertently. I saw her hesitation. "You can also choose to stay here. Of course I choose to follow you." Zhang Weiwei is a smart person. She knows that staying here will definitely lead to a miserable end. It's better to bet on me. Our movements quickly attracted a crowd of onlookers. They immediately started whispering. Where are those people going? Do they want to end it all and go outside? It's good that they're leaving. I couldn't stand them for a long time anyway. Luai was also in the crowd, listening to the discussions of the classmates around. She was frowning. Despite the fact that I rejected her yesterday and said such unpleasant things, but she couldn't bring herself to just watch us die, so she rushed out of the crowd and stood in front of me. "Where are you guys going leaving this place?" This rhetorical question on my part instantly left Lu Yi speechless. He was about to say something when a voice came from behind. "That's right, we really don't welcome you. But the others can't leave. Professor Wen, you are the school nurse, stay with us. We really need her." This kid Gu, Sinju, is very aware of the importance of a doctor. It's clear that he wants to use the students to morally blackmail. Wen Ning, I was immediately furious. Damn, they're trying to poach from my crew. But before I could even speak, Wen Ning took a step forward. "There isn't even any medicine here. There's no point in me staying. Come on, you are a professor after all. Even if you don't do anything, everyone will feel much safer with you here." Gu. Xingyu still wanted to struggle a bit, but Wen Ning didn't budge at all. She was determined to leave with me. Seeing that he couldn't keep Wen Ning, Gu Xingyu didn't bother trying to keep the others. In his eyes, except for Wen Ning, who was a bit useful, Ruan Yuhan and Zhang Weiwei were just two burdens. "Stop talking nonsense. Let's go." I didn't feel like arguing with him. I turned around and left. The girls behind me immediately followed. Since the start of the apocalypse, this is the first time that Zhang Weiwei leaves the school building. She was looking around her nervously, ready to run away at any moment. But what relieved her slightly was that there were no live zombies, only zombie corpses, scattered on the ground. I stopped on the open space behind the school. Zhang Weiwei panicked upon seeing this. "Why did you stop moving? Let's take advantage of this. To leave quickly while there are no zombies." "We have arrived." "Arrived where? How can we live in this deserted place?" Is this guy crazy? If I had known, I wouldn't have come out with him. I don't feel like caring about what Zhang Weiwei thinks. All my thoughts are on the system. System extract the defense rewards. Blueprint detected. Should construction proceed according to the blueprint? Yes. As soon as the words left my mouth on the originally empty ground, a steel fortress rose out of nowhere. This scene shocked everyone to the point where they couldn't close their mouths. Ruan Yuhan was the first to recognize that the building's structure was exactly the same as her blueprint. She looked at me with sheer amazement, and just as she was about to say something, I interrupted her directly. "Don't ask too many questions. You just need to know that I can keep you alive. That's enough." Zhang Weiwei instantly wiped away her previous gloom, internally ecstatic, wishing she could give herself to me on the spot. I walked straight toward the shelter. The huge door is made of titanium alloy, with an electronic fingerprint lock next to it. I registered my own fingerprint then. I also registered Shen, Kingwo's at the same time. As for Wenning and Ruan, Yuhan will see when their affection level hits 60. And that Zhang Weiwei is way too cunning, with too many hidden motives let alone even thinking about it before reaching 80 affection points. The huge titanium alloy door slowly opened and I brought everyone inside. Because the area isn't that large. The shelter only has a living room, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and 1 storage room. But the system is pretty generous. It not only provided all the furniture, but even included a diesel generator. Too bad it only gave a single canister of diesel. As soon as they entered, the women looked around curiously, letting out gasps of exclamation from time to time. "Oh my god, there's a bathtub in the bathroom and even hot water. Such a large storage room with a refrigeration function. This is awesome. Oh my god, there are beds in the bedrooms and even a couch in the living room." Listening to their exclamations, I felt incredibly good. And this is only the beginning. As long as I keep completing tasks to raise the affection level, my shelter will become bigger and bigger and get more and more functions. At that moment, Zhang Weiwei suggested dividing the rooms. 1 room for the boss, 1 room for me and Ruan Yuhan, one room for Professor Wen and Shen Qingguo. As soon as she finished speaking Ruan, Yuhan immediately jumped up to object. I don't want to be in the same room as you. I want to be with Professor Wen. Qingguo didn't say a single word. She just silently tugged at the bottom of my clothes. Alright, fine. The boss and his sister in one room, Ruan, Yuhan, and Professor Wen in one room. But Ruan Yuhan still didn't back down. Why should you get a room all to yourself? The situation with the boss and his sister, you saw it clearly, right? You don't want to be with me, so I can only live alone. I have a great idea. You can sleep in the living room. No way, Zhang Wei. Are you looking for a fight with me? Seeing that they were about to fight, I directly raised my voice. That's enough. Stop arguing. We'll do exactly as Zhang Wei said. At my words, they immediately backed down. Wen Yuhan pulled Wen Ning into the bedroom while grumbling, and Zhang Wei also closed her bedroom door. Who knows what she was plotting inside? I still wanted to take a look around the safe house, but Shen Qingguo kept holding me back. She pointed at the remaining room and uttered 2 words in a soft voice, go sleep. Actually, I wanted to refuse her, but I couldn't. Shen Qingguo's big eyes were too lethal. Plus, Shen Qingguo has been tense these past few days. She should also get some rest. As soon as I lay down on the bed, Shen Qingguo stuck close to me, silently listening to my heartbeat. At the exact same time, some students in the school building discovered the building that appeared out of nowhere. They immediately ran to report it to Gu Xingyu. Gu Xingyu was totally perplexed after listening. There was a strange house behind the school. He had no impression of it. But in his memory, it seemed like that house had always been there. Even though they hadn't seen the safe house appear out of nowhere. Under the system's influence, they all felt in their subconscious that it was completely normal for this house to be there. Gu Xingyu stared at the student who came to report. Did you see with your own eyes that outsider take people into that house? Yes, I saw it with my own eyes. Young Master Gu, that house is attracting a lot of people. Why don't we go raid it? Are you stupid? If we're talking about safety, isn't our building enough? Why leave such a huge place and go squeeze into some tiny shacks? Is it you or me who has water in the brain? When I woke up, it was already 5 o'clock p.m. In a daze, I felt a small hand moving under me. I gasped, woke up instantly, and caught the hand that was messing around. What are you doing? Shen Qingguo blinked her big, innocent eyes without saying a word. I pinched her round face. Don't play dumb with me. I know you understand. Hunger. It was then that I realized. It turned out to be this little guy. She was hungry and didn't want to wake me up, so she intended to help herself. Unfortunately, she didn't know how to go about it and achieved nothing after struggling for a long time. Alright. I'll get up and make you something to eat. While going to the living room, I discovered that the other 3 were there. As soon as Ruan Yuhan saw me come out, she shouted, "Boss, come look at the surveillance." The surveillance screen shows the scene outside the window. Sporadic white dots are falling from the sky, but they quickly disappear. Ruan Yuhan asked with curiosity, "Are those catkins?" "No, it's snowing." Wen Ning, who comes from the north, immediately recognized what it was. But the other 2 local natives, however, don't believe me at all. What a joke we are in Binjiang after all. In my entire life, I've never seen snow. Only, this is what lies behind this strange phenomenon. The 4th apocalyptic disaster has finally arrived. According to my memories from before, the snow will fall for 3 whole days. The temperature will drop brutally on the 3rd day. Even pee will freeze instantly. No, I can't stay idle during these 3 days. I must take advantage of the start of the snow to hoard more resources. Ruan Yuhan. What do they sell at your school's supermarket? Ruan. Yuhan was at first stunned, but seeing my serious face, she started seriously describing the commercial area of Binjiang University. It's a supermarket, but it's like a small shopping mall with everything we need to eat and use. Basically, students can buy whatever they want without leaving the campus. So we absolutely must go to the supermarket, but not right now. We still need to wait for tomorrow after lunch. I directly gave the order to Zhang Wei and Wen Ning. Get ready. You 2 are heading out with me and Qingguo. Hearing this, Zhang Wei's face fell instantly. If she could, she just wanted to stay in the safe house for the rest of her life. So she started to wheedle me, "Boss, can I not go out?" I looked at her expressionlessly. "Sure, but I don't feed freeloaders on my turf." "I'll go, alright? Is there any need to be so scary? Can't a girl even ask a question?" I then added, "Don't forget to bundle up well. It's freezing outside." Wan Yuhan felt ignored and got anxious. "What about me? Your task is to draft. Rest assured, I'm not going to kick you out just like that." Hearing my words, Wan Yuhan finally breathed a sigh of relief. She really thought she had become the freeloader I was talking about. Stepping out of the safe house, the frozen gore on the ground was already past the ankles. Huge snowflakes were falling from the sky. The worst part was the biting cold outside. The estimated temperature was already below freezing. Zhang Wei and Wen Ning, even though they wore several layers of clothes, were still terribly cold and their voices began to shake. "It's so cold, boss. How about we go back?" "No problem. You'll be fine once you're in the car." A perplexed Zhang Wei looked in the direction of my finger and suddenly discovered a massive ride. A heavy-duty truck was parked next to the safe house. The mouth of Zhang Wei dropped wide enough to fit an egg. My god, where did this truck come from? I chuckled softly. Where did it come from? It's the reward you provided, of course. In fact, I hesitated before whether I should choose an off-road vehicle or an armored vehicle. But considering the current situation, I thought it was better to take a heavy truck first. If another mutation happens in the future and turns it into Optimus Prime, it's not possible. But considering the current situation, Shen Qingwo thinks we should get a heavy truck first. This way, transportation is more convenient. And the system is very generous, filling up the fuel tank of the heavy truck, enough to cross several provinces. Shen Qingwo didn't explain to them, but told the two, you two go with Qingwo into the back compartment. I'll drive. He also ordered, remember, as soon as you get out of the car, grab your weapons and follow me and Qingwo. Don't get lost. The end of the short chapter hasn't arrived yet. Please click to the next page to continue reading the rest of this exciting content. Is it too dangerous to leave Qingwo in front? Professor Wen had a hint of worry in her eyes. Why not put me in front from Professor Wen's perspective? As an adult and a teacher who had already killed a zombie, she is stronger than Shen Qingwo no matter what. She should protect the other two. Don't worry about Qingwo. She's much stronger than me. Professor Wen and Zhang Weiwei both have doubt written on their faces. Who is this MC, a total badass, who can come and go freely in a pack of zombies? And Shen Qingwo looks like a mere little girl. How could she be stronger than the MC? Anxious, the two and Shen Qingwo entered the compartment together. After closing the door, it was a bit warmer. The MC then sat in the driver's seat. He shouted, let's go, and started the heavy truck. While driving, the MC also paid attention to the movement of the surrounding zombies. Of course, the noise of the heavy truck attracted the attention of a large number of zombies, but their movement was very slow. Their limbs seemed frozen. It took them several seconds to take a single step, and they could only watch the truck drive away. It seems that after spending a night outside, these zombies have all been frozen. This is the reason why the MC specifically waited one night before heading out again. Zhang Weiwei and Professor Wen pointed toward the storm because of the campus. Even with the wipers turned on, it was difficult to see the direction clearly. The MC therefore asked the two people to show the way. Show me the way you guys know it. Turn right ahead, then turn left at the intersection. 10 minutes later, a sign indicates the two-story building of the Binjiang University supermarket appears in front of the MC. For the MC, this is it. His destination has been reached. Chapter 31. Looting the Binjiang University supermarket is about to begin. Caught off guard, she almost bumped her head. Then the MC shifted into reverse and directly rammed into the glass door of the supermarket. The glass door was like paper. It shattered in an instant while the heavy truck was unscathed. Parking the truck, the MC hopped down from the driver's seat and quickly went to the back to open the compartment. He shouted to the three people inside, quick, grab your weapons and get down. Zhang Weiwei and Professor Wen didn't dare to delay. The team got down from the vehicle and the four entered the supermarket. The ground floor of the supermarket is the food section. Several zombies wearing store clerk uniforms are wandering between the aisles. Professor Wen, Zhang Weiwei, you two carry the food to the truck. Shen Qingwo and I will handle the zombies, got it. Professor Wen trusts the MC unconditionally. Zhang Weiwei hesitates a bit, but also obeys. The MC grabbed a fire axe and headed toward the zombies. The situation here is much better than outside. They haven't been nerfed and their ability to move is barely affected, but their numbers are way too low and they are scattered all over the ground floor. It is honestly tough to pose any threat to the MC. The MC chopped them down with every swing of his axe, and without Shen Qingwo even having to step in, he cleared out almost all of them. The MC casts a glance around. Sensing zero danger, he tells Shen Qingwo, you stay here to protect them. I'm going upstairs to keep clearing. Shen Qingwo is a bit reluctant, but she still stayed behind with them. The MC went up the stairs with peace of mind and arrived at the second floor. The second floor houses many independent shops, selling all kinds of delicacies, as well as a milk tea shop. The flow of people on this floor is heavier than on the ground floor. In addition to zombie employees, there are also quite a few zombie students. At first glance, there are more than a dozen of them. If these zombies aren't completely wiped out, Professor Wen and the others won't be able to focus on moving the loot. So let's get to work. The MC twirled his fire axe and rushed toward the zombies. On the first floor, Zhang Weiwei felt super uneasy after seeing the MC head upstairs. While moving the supplies, she had to carefully scan left and right, terrified that around some corner there might be a zombie. Luckily, by the time she filled up a bag of high-calorie snacks, she hadn't been attacked. But right as she was carrying the bag to the truck, a zombie wandered in from the outside and blocked the front of the truck. Professor Wen, there's a zombie, what's wrong? Hearing the scream, Professor Wen dropped what she had in her hands and rushed over with a baseball bat. She shielded Zhang Weiwei in front of her, glaring at the staggering zombie with sickly bluish skin. Professor Wen was extremely nervous. She had killed a zombie before, but it was immobile, while the one in front of her could move. Once she got bitten or scratched, she would be infected and turn into a zombie. How could Wen Ning not be nervous? The two women were thus, one in front and the other hiding behind. With every step the zombie took, they took a step back. At that exact moment, a figure dashed past them. After seeing this, Wen Ning hurriedly shouted, "Qingguo, watch out!" Before she even finished speaking, Shen Qingguo raised her hand and easily snapped the zombie's neck. Professor Wen's voice stopped abruptly. It turned out the MC hadn't lied to them. Shen Qingguo was actually insanely strong. Qingguo, you are too OP, Zhang. YY is a cunning person. She wouldn't miss any opportunity to get close to someone influential. Seeing Shen Qingguo so strong, her first thought was to build a good relationship with her. That way, when she was in danger, Shen Qingguo would come to save her. However, except for the MC, Shen Qingguo completely ignored everyone else. This put Zhang Weiwei in an awkward spot, making unsuccessful advances. Don't just stand there. Keep moving the stuff, Professor Wen reminded her. The two continued to move things. When the MC came down from the second floor, the valuable food on the first floor, and the drinking water had almost all been moved. Zhang Weiwei approached the MC as if to show off, saying, "Boss, I found the entrance to the supermarket warehouse. The provisions inside are all in crates." "Good job." The MC rarely gave her a compliment. "When you get back, you can take a hot bath." Earlier, when Zhang Weiwei saw the bathtub, she was overjoyed and wanted to take a bath. But the MC refused under the pretext of saving water. She had been gloomy for a long time because of that. Sure enough, hearing the MC's reward Zhang, Weiwei's eyes lit up and she said with gratitude, "Thank you, boss. I cleared the zombies on the second floor. You and underscore. Professor Wen go upstairs to move things, mainly to move clothes and blankets for the winter." So after they went up, the MC went to look at the warehouse that Zhang Weiwei mentioned. Almost half of the things here had been taken away. The truck's capacity was limited during the getaway. The rest could only be left here in the corner. The MC discovered with surprise 2 gasoline generators and 4 large canisters of gasoline. This is a good thing. The MC naturally wouldn't let them go. After Professor Wen and the others made several trips, he called them together. They moved the generators and the gasoline onto the truck. This trip was very fruitful. Just the food and drinks alone, there is enough for these people to use for several years. The biggest surprise is the discovery of 4 canisters of gasoline in the warehouse. Each canister should be a standard 200 liters. That's enough to generate electricity for hundreds of hours or to fill up the fuel tank of a heavy truck once. On the way back, the few people were all in a good mood. Zhang Weiwei even started humming. Contrary to the relaxed and joyful atmosphere, the student camp in the school building is the exact opposite. Dozens of students were sitting in a classroom, shutting the doors and windows to huddle for warmth. They stripped the clothes off the corpses and piled up books and textbooks in the middle of the classroom to light them. The temperature in the classroom only rose to a barely tolerable level. However, in this state, it is certainly impossible to go out to look for food. Starving and freezing, they fell into despair. At that exact moment, they heard the sound of a vehicle passing by underneath the school building. Immediately, a student came to the window to look outside. Through the snow, he seemed to see a huge truck. He immediately exclaimed with excitement, "There's a truck! There's a truck outside." The other students also got hyped. "Did someone come to save us? Did someone come to save us?" Gu Xingyu pushed aside the student near the window. After seeing the heavy truck, his emotions spiked as well. "Could it be that my father sent people to rescue me?" Other than this reason, Gu Xingyu didn't think anyone else would drive such a truck into the school. "It must be someone sent by my father," Gu Xingyu said with absolute certainty. Chapter 31. Please ask the MC to return school property. After clearing out the troublemakers for a few days, most of the remaining students followed Gu Xingyu. So as soon as Gu Xingyu said this, dozens of students immediately responded. Gu Xingyu was worried that there would be too many people and too much noise. So he only called over 10 people whom he trusted the most. Finally, when the group arrived downstairs, they discovered that the exit was blocked. Originally, it was still possible to get out through the window, but the day the MC left, Gu Xingyu was worried that the MC might return, so he had people block all the windows. As a result, he just shot himself in the foot. Before going out, they had no choice but to lift the table while grumbling. Fortunately, there were many of them, and they only needed to deal with a single window, so they quickly cleared an exit. The moment they opened the window, the biting wind swept the blizzard inside and flooded the room. The room temperature dropped instantly to match the outside temperature. The thin clothes that everyone wore couldn't withstand the freezing cold at all. Their bodies immediately started shaking like leaves, whistling. "It's so cold. Why is it snowing in the middle of summer? How about we just go back?" Some people were already backing out before even leaving. As the leader Gu Xingyu could only encourage them. "Everyone hang in there. The most important thing right now is to link up with the rescuers. The school is so huge. There's no way they can see us, and if they leave, we're truly done for. Everyone think about it. There must be heating, warm clothes, and hot food on that truck. Don't you want that?" Thanks to his excellent ability to make empty promises. Gu Xingyu successfully boosted morale. The students mustered up their courage and climbed out one by one. Through the window, quickly heading toward the heavy truck. On his end, the MC parked the heavy truck in front of the safe house. Zhang Weiwei and the others had already put on down jackets. They were busy, moving the supplies from the compartment to the safe house. When Zhang Weiwei stopped to rest, from time to time, she would look up and see some blurry figures in the snow in the distance. The first thing she thought of was zombies. After all, in this freezing cold, except for zombies, it's impossible for anyone to survive outside. Zhang Weiwei found the MC and reported her discovery to him. It's fine. You guys keep moving the stuff. The rest, leave it to me and Qingguo. Zhang Weiwei, seeing the MC so calm after his reassurance, felt a strong sense of security and didn't panic. She went back to continue moving the supplies. The MC and Shen Qingguo waited solemnly. When the figures got closer, the MC, with his sharp observation, noticed something unusual. It's impossible for it to be a zombie. A zombie wouldn't tuck its head in. Even though that was the case, the MC became nervous because he clearly knew that in the apocalypse, the most terrifying thing wasn't the zombies, nor the natural disasters, but the human heart. In his previous life, he had seen survivors gather to form a gang specializing in looting others' supplies, especially people like the MC who survive alone, hoard a lot of supplies, and whose safe house isn't hidden. It is particularly easy to be targeted. This is what's called the neighbor stockpiles food. I stockpile weapons. The neighbor is my granary. Now that I think about it, Gu Xingyu and the others in my previous life, he had probably taken this path and he was the major targeted victim. Just as the MC was worrying about them, wondering whether he should first let Professor Wen and the others enter the safe house. He clearly saw the faces of the people arriving. It was Gu Xingyu and the others. The MC was suddenly no longer nervous. These current scrubs are just college students, way too naive. Gu Xingyu and the others also discovered the MC and the others. Gu Xingyu said with surprise, "How come it's you?" He looked inside and stared at the truck with even more shock and couldn't help but ask again, "This truck is yours. If it's not mine, could it be yours?" The MC sneered with contempt. "Impossible." Gu Xingyu said without thinking, "How could you have such a truck at a time like this?" One of the lackeys approached Gu Xingyu's ear and whispered, "Young Master Gu, he's moving supplies. Looks like they came from our school's supermarket." Gu Xingyu took a glance and found that it was indeed the case. There was still the supermarket label on it. The others were also extremely upset. In their minds, the school's things belonged to them. The MC is just an outsider staying at the school. Even if that's the case, how can he take things from the supermarket without asking and carry them away on his own initiative? Taking what belongs to them, one of them stepped forward and reprimanded loudly, "These things are ours. You must return them to us, that's right. And this house too, since it's located in our school, it's naturally school property. You must hand it over too." Living in a school building where the wind blows from everywhere, there is bound to be someone who will be attracted by the MC's safe house. Gu Xingyu was even more greedy. He had his eyes on the heavy truck. This kind of truck costs millions. How could an ordinary guy like you own one? You must have stolen it somewhere. Please return everything that doesn't belong to you. The MC looked at the angry crowd as if he were looking at a clown. He wasn't angry, he just found it amusing. Spoken like true students. Sure enough, they possess a kind of pure idiocy. Did they think that by having numbers and shouting loudly, they could morally blackmail others? The MC took out the heavy truck's key and tossed it in the air. "If you want it, come take it yourself." Gu Xingyu looked at the MC's hand. He was tightly gripping the fire axe. He knew things wouldn't be that simple. He immediately shouted to the crowd, "There are only 5 of you, including 4 women. While there are 10 of us, there are even more than 20 waiting in the school building. I advise you to wisely return the things to avoid useless conflicts, despising women. Fine, I'll give you a chance. If anyone can beat my sister, I will give you this thing tomorrow." The MC pointed at Shen Qingguo and said, "Gu Xingyu, accepted. Immediately deal. Ironhead, go get her." The Ironhead he was talking about is a tall and muscular practitioner. Compared to him, Shen Qingguo looks like a child. He opened his mouth and grinned, his face full of grease. "Leave it to me." Qingguo finished this quickly. The MC said calmly. Shen Qingguo stepped forward in silence, expressionless, looking at the meathead approaching her, looking down from above, staring at the small and charming person. In front of him, Ironhead let out a lecherous smile. "Little sister, you are really pretty. Call me Big Brother, so I can hear it and I'll go easy on you." The crowd burst into laughter. They absolutely don't think that Shen Qingguo could be Ironhead's opponent. Shen Qingguo's gaze turns fiercer. She attacks on her own initiative for the first time. Ironhead doesn't care at all and raises his large hand to strike her. Just that open hand alone is bigger than Shen Qingguo's head. With such a gap, how could Shen Qingguo win? Chapter 32. You owe me 2 lives. Shen Qingguo doesn't move as if she were terrified. Some people close their eyes, unable to bear seeing a young girl in full bloom get struck and end up with a bloody head. Just as the Ironhead's big hand is about to hit Shen Qingguo's head, it stops. The people standing behind. Ironhead Ika? Ironhead didn't see what happened. One of them urges him impatiently. Ironhead, don't mess around over there. I'm almost frozen to death. A sharp-eyed person noticed something abnormal. Isn't there something extra on Ironhead's back? Everyone looks closely, discovering that what was added is actually a hand. The 5 fingers of the hand close and squeeze something dark red. It's still twitching from time to time. As Shen Qingwo pulls back her hand, Ironhead standing 2 meters tall. His massive body collapses with a loud crash. At the location of the left side of his chest, there is a huge hole. The things inside are visible. Several people quickly rub their eyes, realizing that Shen Qingwo is actually holding a heart in her hand at this moment. Shen Qingwo's right arm is covered in blood dripping along her fingertips and falling onto the white snow, staining it with a red patch. This visual appears both enchanting and bizarre. Monster, monster. After a long moment, someone finally snaps back to reality, letting out a fearful sound. Piercing a chest with a bare hand? It's absolutely impossible for a normal person to do that. The courage of Gu Xingyu and the others, which relied on the number of people, instantly vanished. Everyone run away, no Gu. Xingyu, who originally had many subordinates, became a lone man. Does Gu Xingyu not want to run away? No, at the critical moment, he sadly discovered that his legs were weak. He simply can't use his strength. Damn it, damn it, damn it, he swears without stopping, turns around and shouts at the figures of the students. Don't leave me behind. But they turn a deaf ear and run even faster. Gu Xingyu scolds while faking it. Bunch of trash that can't be relied on. Wait until I get back. You're going to pay dearly. But too bad you can't go back anymore. Gu Xingyu froze. Turning around, he realized that the MC had already stepped toward him with a fire axe. Brother, spare me, Gu Xingyu tried to beg. He even used the old foolproof trick. As long as you don't kill me when my rescue arrives, I'll take you with me. But the MC still said nothing. You can't kill me. Do you know who my father is? My father is... Gu Xingyu's words were cut short by the swift. He decided to use force, but he hadn't finished his sentence before he started screaming. It turned out that the MC had chopped his leg off with an axe. The intense pain caused Gu Xingyu to drop straight to his knees, blood instantly soaking through his pants. How could I kill you? The MC smiled. But in the eyes of Gu Xingyu, he was as terrifying as a demon. You owe me 2 lives? How could I be satisfied with letting you die? So easily. What? Debt. What does that have to do with me, Gu? Xingyu didn't understand the words of the MC at all. Whatever, you'll understand soon. The MC left Gu Xingyu behind. He searched for a moment in the pool of blood, then suddenly pulled out the corpse of a zombie. What are you going to do, Gu? Xingyu endured the intense pain while watching. The MC approached him. Do you know what it feels like to turn into a zombie? The MC began, patiently explaining to Gu Xingyu. First, you will feel that your body is getting out of control and your limbs are becoming incredibly stiff. Your brain will hallucinate, your ears will have auditory hallucinations, and then you will have... Trust me, no one can bear this end. Even a rat or a cockroach, you would swallow them without hesitation. At that point, you will completely become a zombie that no longer recognizes its own family. The MC spoke with eloquence, as if he had experienced it himself. Gu Xingyu got goosebumps and all the hair on his body stood on end. Do you know why I'm so clear about this? The MC brought his head close to Gu Xingyu and told him in a voice that only the two of them could hear. All of this is thanks to you. Fake. Fake. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Gu Xingyu is on the verge of collapse. It's nothing. The important thing is that I know it. The MC sliced the zombie's hand. From the severed limb flowed a dark red blood. Luckily, it didn't touch me. You are truly lucky. The MC lifted the severed limb and shoved it violently into Gu Xingyu's wound. 2 completely different bloods began to merge. The zombie virus is transmitted through blood. That's pretty much common knowledge. Gu Xingyu still tries to save himself. He frantically claws at the ground, trying to escape, but the MC just follows him slowly. 2 minutes later, the consciousness of Gu Xingyu gradually faded away. His movements also slowed down. I thought you would last longer. The MC was a bit disappointed. He knew exactly how painful and agonizing the moment right before turning into a zombie was. Therefore, the longer Gu Xingyu held out, the more satisfaction the MC felt in his revenge. The pupils of Gu Xingyu turned completely red. He growled and turned around to lunge at the leg of the MC. The MC dodged it easily, then said lightly, first life. Then he raised the fire axe, brought it down on Gu Xingyu's head. 1 axe swing, 2 axe swings, 7 axe swings, 8 axe swings. The grudge from his past life vented out bit by bit with each falling axe blow, until Gu Xingyu's head was completely obliterated. The MC stopped saying while panting, "That's the second life. We are even. MC, are you alright?" Professor Wen first glanced at Gu Xingyu's corpse, then asked the MC with a bit of worry. To be honest, the MC's state just now was truly a bit terrifying, as if he were possessed. Plus, killing zombies versus killing people. There is still a huge difference. Seeing a living person get slaughtered, the others couldn't help but feel a wave of nausea and unease. Zhang, Wei Wei, and Ruan. Yuhan were also so scared that they hid inside the safe house. Only Professor Wen worried about the MC's state and asked the question. I'm fine, I'm doing great. Seeing the MC temporarily sober again, Professor Wen breathed a sigh of relief. It seems there was some kind of grudge between Gu, Xingyu, and the MC for the MC to act this way. After relaxing, Professor Wen found herself wondering, when did she become so indifferent to human life? Before, she definitely wouldn't have accepted someone killing another person over a personal feud, especially since that person was her student. Oh well, I don't want to overthink it. He's the one who saved my life. Even if he's a demon king, I'll follow him and be the little devil by the demon king's side. System notification, Professor Wen's favorability buffed. Hearing the system prompt, the MC was surprised. Professor Wen's favorability has jumped to 65. Damn, is she in love? He was still a bit puzzled. Consequently, his tone toward Professor Wen became much softer. He continued to order them to carry the supplies. Where are you going? Professor Wen asked. There are a few fish that slipped through the net. If we don't wipe them out, I won't be at peace. Chapter 33, The School Building. The broadcast announcement echoed in the school building. The group of remaining students guarded near the windows waiting. Every window was packed with people, eyes glued to the distance. Finally, they saw the previous team returning. They shouted with excitement. They're back. They're back. We're saved. There are also some calm people who noticed something wrong. Why are 2 people missing? And why are they panicking so hard? As if they're being chased by something. These words threw a bucket of cold water on the hyped crowd. They instinctively looked at Sulan. Beautiful and kind, she had won the favorability of all the students in the camp by genuinely helping each of them. Therefore, in the absence of Gu Xingyu, these students only listened to Sulan's orders. Sulan thought about it and said, let's go. Let's go down to welcome them and ask them what's going on. The 20 remaining students in the classroom followed Sulan out of the classroom and arrived at the first floor, just in time to meet the 9 people who were entering through the window in a mess. Sulan scanned the surroundings and didn't see Gu Xingyu. Where is young Master Gu? Why didn't he come back with you? The 2,512 9 people were sitting on the floor, out of breath. Hearing Sulan's question, they looked at each other. Nobody dared to tell the truth. They can't just say they abandoned Gu Xingyu and ran away on their own right. The guy with glasses was also among these 9 people. He pushed up his glasses guiltily and said, young Master Gu, he was left behind by that outsider. The outsider in Sulan's mind. The MC's face appeared. She was even more confused and asked eagerly, what exactly happened? Didn't you guys go to meet the rescuers? The 9 people started explaining at the same time. We got played. That heavy truck wasn't here to save us at all. In the truck, there was that outsider. They took the supplies from our supermarket. Everything. Young Master Gu asked them to return them, but he was brutally killed. By the way, he was killed by a monster. Young Master Gu went to reason with them, but in the end, based on the words of the 9 people, Sulan finally pieced together the complete sequence of events. You mean that outsider managed to get a heavy truck from somewhere and also raised a monster. The monster killed Ironhead, and young Master Gu was forcibly detained by them. Yes, said the 9 people in unison. This story is full of plot holes. Sulan absolutely doesn't believe it. But the fact that Gu Xingyu didn't return is very real. No matter what, young Master Gu is now in his hands. I'll go outside to check it out so he can bring him back. Don't go, isn't that just throwing yourself into the wolf's den? Advised the guy with glasses. Sulan still doesn't want to believe that the MC would murder. In her opinion, although the MC is a bit distant, he risked his life to save Professor Wen. This shows that his nature is not bad. Maybe the MC saved Professor Wen just in passing, and it was because she deserved to be saved. She said, don't worry, nothing bad will happen to me. Plus Professor Wen and Zhang Weiwei are with him. Hardly had Sulan's words been spoken when loud melodic music echoed out. Abruptly, who's playing music? Some students didn't react and raised their heads to look around. It's the broadcast? Someone realized the danger. This is bad. The music is going to attract the zombies. These words caused widespread panic. Quick, destroy the speakers. I'll go get a broom. Someone ran quickly into the classroom. He grabbed a broom and jumped up with all his might to smash the speaker, but he was still too short. It's not working. I can't reach it. I'll carry you. Grab whatever you have on hand and throw it. Sulan was present, the only one who could still stay calm. She shouted at the top of her lungs, smashing the speaker is useless. There are still 4 floors above. There's a speaker on every floor. We'll never have enough time. Come, a few people, with me to the broadcast studio to cut the music. But at that moment, the hallway was already extremely chaotic. All kinds of banging noises and screams blended together, not to mention the continuous broadcast music, which completely drowned out Sulan's voice. There is no other choice. Sulan had to go alone to the broadcast studio on the 5th floor. But upon reaching the 3rd floor, the stairs leading above were blocked. She didn't have time to move the obstacles. She could only carefully climb over the piled up tables and chairs. I have to move fast. I have to cut the broadcast before the zombies swarm the school building. In her rush, she made a misstep. Her calf got pierced and Sulan saw blood flowing from the wound, staining half of her calf in red. With no time to treat the injury, Sulan had to endure the pain to pull her leg out and barely squeeze through. Upon arriving at the 4th floor, there was a massive number of zombies above the 4th floor of the school building. Fortunately, the zombies were all attracted by the speakers and were fighting greedily over them, just like the students on the 1st floor. Sulan bent down and made zero noise. At the same time, she quickly dashed across the 4th floor stairs. Finally, she arrived in front of the broadcast studio door on the 5th floor. Sulan turned the doorknob. The broadcast studio door wasn't locked. She successfully opened the door. Sulan first saw a man with his back to her, resting his leg on the desk next to a turned-on radio. The man, hearing the door open, spun his chair around toward her. Upon seeing the man clearly, Sulan was surprised and left speechless. "It's you. Are you surprised?" The MC looked at Sulan without any flaws in his composure. "What?" She didn't even have time to ask the MC why he was there. She hurriedly screamed, "Turn off the radio quickly. You're gonna attract all the zombies." "That's exactly the effect I'm looking for." "What?" She widened her eyes in disbelief. "Why are you doing this? You know you're gonna kill everyone. They got what they deserve." The MC, with a deep gaze, stood near the window and looked down. The surrounding zombies had already reached the foot of the building and were frantically assaulting the doors and windows. The defense, made of tables and chairs, was already extremely fragile. "Listen, I don't know what Gu, Singyu, and the others did to you, but you should only go after the one responsible. There are many innocent students here, Sulan. Il y a beaucoup d'étudiants innocents ici, Sulan." Was so anxious that she had completely lost her composure. No one is innocent, including you." Sulan was stunned for a moment. Then she realized, if you hold a grudge against Gu Xingyu for when he kicked you out and we didn't stand up for you, then I apologize on their behalf. The MC just shook his head. "That's not what I'm talking about." The MC was referring to the fact that in his past life, these students, under the leadership of Gu Xingyu, had participated in his murder. And if apologies were enough, what would we need the police for? Chapter 34. Sulan deeply regretted it. While Sulan was desperately looking for a solution, the 1st floor defense was finally breached by the zombies, with the first zombie bursting into the building. The terror-filled screams and cries of the students directly drowned out the radio music and reached the 5th floor. Sulan clenched her fists tightly. She wanted to rush over to turn off the radio, but the MC still stood right in the middle of the way. Sulan was unable to bypass him. Having no way out, Sulan begged the MC through tears, "I'm begging you. Just consider the fact that I let you in, turn off the radio. Do you really think I came to Binhai University by chance? What do you mean?" Sulan asked with bloodshot eyes. "In fact, I came specifically to get revenge on you guys. The moment I found you, he killed all the classmates. He truly regrets it." The MC saw her distraught soul. There was zero fluctuation in his heart, and he even imagined that he said it on purpose. "It's so that she regrets and feels guilty. Aren't you nice and caring toward your classmates? I'm going to let you know. The reason they ended up like this is because of you." The MC wants Sulan to suffer for it for the rest of her life. "This is the price of your betrayal." Suddenly, Sulan's crying stopped abruptly. She raised her head with 2 traces of tears still on her face. She suddenly thought of her roommate Zhang Weiwei. Zhang Weiwei must be relying on this man now to live the dream life that Sulan wanted. She didn't regret refusing Zhang Weiwei's invitation at the beginning. On the contrary, because of that invitation, she thought of a way to make the MC change his mind. Under the MC's slightly altered gaze, Sulan took off her top, revealing pure white underwear underneath. When removing her pants, she hesitated for a moment, but finally grit her teeth and took them off. At that moment, there was nothing left but a set of white underwear on her entire body, and her snow-white skin could rival the snowflakes. Her curvy figure is even more full of temptation, making her pure yet desirable. She is highly capable of stirring men's hearts. "What are you doing? Are you seducing me?" the MC asked. Sulan didn't answer but said, "As long as you turn off the radio, you can do whatever you want to me." The MC took a step forward, admiring the body in front of him with a teasing gaze that could be called the masterpiece of the creator. Sulan felt an unprecedented humiliation. She was like a prostitute examined by the MC with a look as if he were inspecting a product. She became the kind of person she hated the most. The MC withdrew his gaze and said, "Put your clothes back on." The MC turned off the radio, climbed onto the ledge of the open window, turned back to Sulan and said, "Goodbye and good luck." Then he jumped and grabbed the pipe on the wall. Climbing down, Sulan understood how he had come up, but none of it mattered anymore. Sulan stood frozen there, her mind blank. She couldn't snap back to reality before the door behind her was suddenly banged on. She regained her senses. Sulan stared at the door nervously, fearing that whatever was outside wouldn't leave. But the sound of the door collapsing didn't stop. Finally, the door was broken down. A zombie with disheveled hair entered slowly. "Xiaoqing, is that you?" The female zombie in front of her was actually her classmate. In the beginning, when she was looking after her classmate, who had a fever and was unconscious. It was Xiaoqing who was there to take care of her. But at this moment, Xiaoqing obviously didn't recognize Sulan. She approached Sulan. Sulan backed up step by step, the space shrinking, bit by bit, until Sulan touched the radio station. She realized she couldn't back up anymore. Koting no, it's Milan. Sulan shook her head, trying to awaken Xiaoqing's sanity. But unfortunately, it didn't work at all. Xiaoqing opened her mouth and bit Sulan. Sulan could only protect herself with her hands. Those sharp and strong teeth sank deep into Sulan's soft arm. Under the intense pain, Sulan pushed with all her might. She actually managed to push Xiaoqing back 2 steps. The zombie tripped on the chair on the floor and struck the leg of the table with the back of her head. Her head tilted and she expired. Sulan didn't feel particularly happy because she had been bitten. She collapsed onto the floor, feeling lost, awaiting her fate of mutation. Meanwhile, the MC stopped on purpose at every floor to make sure there were no survivors before jumping down the pipe. Back at the refuge, inside the refuge, Zhang Weiwei and the others had already moved all the supplies back to the warehouse. Hearing the sound of the automatic door opening, Shen Xingwo, as if she had springs jumped, the MC caught Shen Xingwo and patted her bouncy little butt with one hand. He asked Professor Wen on the couch, "Why are you alone? Where are the others?" Professor Wen replied, "Zhang Weiwei is taking a bath. As for Ruan Yuhan, she's drawing in her room." Before, Ruan Yuhan always used to draw in the living room, locking herself in the room now. It goes without saying that she is hiding from someone. Professor Wen is afraid that the MC might not be happy, explaining for Ruan Yuhan that Ruan Yuhan is after all a simple-minded little girl. It's normal that she doesn't accept it immediately. Just give her a little more time. The MC nodded his head and didn't care much about it. Professor Wen asked again, "The music that just came from the school building. Earlier, I'm the one who turned it on." Professor Wen is a smart person. She immediately understood what had happened. "Aren't you afraid of me?" The MC asked with curiosity. "I'm not afraid. I know you must have your own reasons." Professor Wen's gaze locked onto him for a long time. Stared at by her passionate gaze, the MC felt a bit uncomfortable. "Let's go back to the room. Rest early today." Professor Wen returned to her and Zhang Weiwei's room. The MC looked at Shen Xingwo in his arms and couldn't help but pinch her nose. "I'm used to your dead fish eyes." Shen Xingwo seemed to understand and angrily bit the MC's finger. The MC relied on the fact that he was wearing gloves, neither dodging nor avoiding. However, Shen Xingwo didn't actually bite down but maintained the action of holding it in her mouth. She began to lick it like a lollipop and the MC pulled his finger back. He wiped it on his clothes, picked Shen Xingwo up in his arms, and also returned to his room. Chapter 35, Voluntary Overtime. Late at night, the snowstorm outside became even heavier with even some hail. It crashed onto the roof of the safe house. Fortunately, the strength of the safe house's materials was sufficient, otherwise, after one night, the roof would be full of dents. The outside world is so depressing, but the safe house is the exact opposite. The MC was lying on the bed with Shen Xingwo. À côté de lui, elle enroula ses bras autour du cou de Cheng Niwo. Les corps doux étaient étroitement pressés l'un contre l'autre. Le parfum corporel unique de la jeune fille flottait lentement dans le nez de Cheng Niwo, la rendant un peu difficile à endormir. Je n'arrive pas à dormir. Allons aux toilettes, Shang. Niwo se leva seulement et Shang Qingwu s'assit également. Shang Niwo lui dit, je sors un moment et je reviens vite. Ne me suis pas attendre-moi. Shang Qingwu ne semblait pas très disposée, mais elle est restée obéissante. Sa faveur a maintenant atteint 75 ses émotions. En tant qu'humain, ont également retrouvé le niveau d'une personne du 14 au 15e. Elle peut déjà comprendre. La plupart des instructions de Cheng Niwo, cependant, elle donne encore souvent à Cheng Niwo le sentiment d'une jeune fille ignorante. Cela lui donne toujours un sentiment de culpabilité. C'est aussi pourquoi, mais la promesse a quand même réussi à se retenir. Elle est méchante, mais pas une ordure, quitter la pièce. Il referme la porte derrière lui, alors qu'elle sortait des toilettes. L'âme sereine, elle fut surprise de voir une personne se tenir à la porte en observant les contours de son visage et les courbes de son corps. Cheng Niwo reconnut Jian Weiwei. Que fais-tu ici? Cheng Niwo se sent inexplicablement basse. Jian Weiwei fait un pas en avant, presque collé à l'oreille de Cheng Niwo. Elle dit « Je veux faire des heures supplémentaires » en raison du bain qu'elle venait de prendre. Le parfum sur le corps de Jian Weiwei était beaucoup plus fort que celui de Shen Qingwo et encore plus séduisant de plus. Une de ses mains remuait sans cesse sur les muscles pectoraux de Cheng Niwo. Le feu que Shen Qingwo avait allumé chez Cheng Niwo s'est rallumé. Clairement, il y a quelques jours, quand Cheng Niwo l'a forcée à travailler, elle était réticente et essayait de traîner en longueur par tous les moyens. Now she's delivering herself up. The MC thought for a moment and guessed, roughly Zhang Weiwei's thoughts. Zhang Weiwei's original identity is a gold digger, valuing material things to the max, and the various capabilities demonstrated by the MC are without a doubt her most suitable choice. Therefore, she no longer had a reason to overvalue herself. Plus, she saw the MC kill someone with his own eyes during the day, and he killed her classmate. Zhang Weiwei couldn't help but get the feeling of pure dread, so Zhang Weiwei thought for a moment and still decided to give her body to the MC. She wasn't even aiming to be chosen by the MC and not have to work. She just hoped she could cling to him. The MC felt a very special sensation. He couldn't help but ask, "What is this black tights? Do you like them?" Zhang Weiwei breathed like a siren into the MC's ear. "I like them." "But where did you find this?" "Today on the second floor of the supermarket. I found it in the women's clothing store. I also brought back a few sets of sexy lingerie. Guess what color I'm wearing?" Zhang Weiwei said in an incredibly seductive tone. Hearing this, the MC unconsciously looked down at Zhang Weiwei. She was wearing a very light and even slightly transparent silk nightgown. If one were thrown outside like this, they would freeze to death in less than 10 minutes. But Zhang Weiwei can dress like this in the safe house, which shows just how well insulated it is. However, since the light isn't turned on, the MC can only see one thing: a dark and deep cleavage. Unable to see what's underneath, he can only guess with his intuition black. Zhang Weiwei is speechless. The MC laughed. Then she reveals the correct answer to the MC. "I'm not wearing anything." "You're playing with fire." The MC can't take it anymore. He takes Zhang Weiwei into his arms. Zhang Weiwei gasps, but her eyes are still full of joy. She takes the initiative to wrap her arms around the MC's neck, ready to serve the boss. It's also a low-level employee's responsibility. The MC rushes to carry Zhang Weiwei to her bedroom door. He hesitates, turns around, and enters Zhang Weiwei's room. One night passes. Zhang Weiwei's seduction came with a price. She is lying on the bed, showing an expression of pure relief. The MC is getting dressed while listening. I don't know how to put it with a smirk. "I find you so bold. I thought you were an expert, but look at you." He didn't know it was her first time. She really couldn't handle the workout, putting the MC in an uncomfortable situation. Zhang Weiwei barely endures the soreness, forcing a smile. "Will I study diligently in the future? I will definitely satisfy the boss. Next time, I will check your learning progress. If you don't satisfy me, humph." With a sharp slap sound, Zhang Weiwei covers her butt by reflex. Seeing that the MC is about to walk out, Zhang Weiwei tries again to get some perks. "So, boss, I won't need to do chores in the future, right? Keep dreaming. This is only the price of your stay here. To eat and drink, you have to rely on work and grinding to trade." Zhang Weiwei had never expected that. The MC would agree, so she isn't disappointed. But she has a lot to say about the attitude of the MC who pulls up his pants and goes straight back to official business. Oh, she deflates like a withered eggplant. Before leaving, the MC added, "However, considering your initiative and enthusiasm, I'll give you a day off today." Zhang Weiwei immediately cheered up, showing a sweet smile and bowing very formally. "Thank you, boss." But she has no clothes on, so it doesn't look like a very serious boss-employee relationship. The MC turns his back and smiles too. Just in time, the system notification rang. System notification. Zhang Weiwei's favorability is now. Favorability plus 25. The current favorability is 60. Damn. Another 25? When did favorability become so easy to increase? Could it be that this thing is a shortcut to a woman's heart? Just kidding. But the MC seems to have figured out the correct way to use the system. Falling in love sincerely leads to betrayal. But when you don't talk about emotions, this favorability skyrockets. Could it be that this is a slave system instead of a love system? Speaking of which, Zhang Weiwei is the last person the MC met. But now her favorability toward the MC is only 5 points lower than Professor Wen's. On the other hand, Ran Yuhan, whom he met first apart from Shen Qingwo, currently has the lowest favorability at only 40. Wait, the MC suddenly remembers that he seems to have forgotten one thing. He forgot Shen Qingwo. At breakfast, Shen Qingwo stares at the MC expressionlessly, teeth clenched, chewing her food vigorously. Professor Wen notices her strangeness and asks the MC softly, "What's wrong with Qingwo?" The MC waves his hand nonchalantly. "It's nothing. A child's temper tantrum will pass soon." And it's exactly as the MC said. Less than an hour after eating breakfast, Shen Qingwo completely forgot that the MC had ditched her and was following him closely again. Chapter 36, The Growth of Three Women. If on the first day of the cold wave, the visibility is only 10 meters, the next 2 days it's almost zero. It can only be said that the MC is truly farsighted. One day late, and it would be impossible to move an inch. Humans are still too fragile in the face of such natural disasters. Through the surveillance cameras, everyone can feel a sense of despair. Thank goodness there is a shelter. Otherwise, he really wouldn't know how to survive. On the fourth day, the snow finally stopped. These 3 days of snow reached 3 meters deep, almost as deep as a building floor. The shelter is only 5 meters high and is half buried under the snow. Fortunately, the metal door can still open and close, and there's no problem getting in and out. Professor Wen took the initiative to find the MC and said since the snow has stopped outside Ruan, Yuhan, Weiwei and I will search for useful things and supplies nearby. The MC has a positive attitude toward them taking the initiative to find work. Alright, Do you want Chingwo and me to go with you? No, no need. I've observed that the zombies outside are all buried under the snow. We just need to be careful with the ones inside. And didn't you say you wanted us to grow up quickly? If we're always protected by you and Chingwo, we won't have any chance to grow. The MC thinks what she said makes sense. He didn't take them in to be their nanny. They really need to grow. The MC doesn't expect them to become super strong, but at least when they encounter zombies, they won't just freeze there or scream. Go ahead, be careful. And remember, when you're outside, it's best not to stay out for more than an hour. Although they had all put on cold-resistant down jackets, staying outside in temperatures dozens of degrees below zero for a long time will always bring a risk of hypothermia. Okay, Professor, Wen went back to announce the news to Ruan Yuhan and Zhang Weiwei. She agreed. She's down. Ruan Yuhan seemed a bit excited, but Zhang Weiwei was obviously not as happy. No, why do you have to drag me with you two? I don't want to go out. Aren't three people safer? Can't we watch the front, the back, the left, and the right at the same time? Professor Wen explained. Isn't it safer to just stay in the shelter? Zhang Weiwei sneered. Faced with her words, Professor Wen didn't argue. But what happens if we encounter the same situation again, as 3 days ago? Don't you want to be able to help him out a little? The rhetorical question from Professor Wen left Zhang Weiwei completely speechless for a moment. If it were in the past, she would have said no without hesitation. But ever since that night, Zhang Weiwei constantly feels like she has fallen for the MC. He would pop into her mind from time to time. Professor Wen clearly noticed something in the way Zhang Weiwei looked at the MC, which is why she said that. I didn't think about that many things. I just want to survive. Ruan Yuhan interrupted at that moment. It was her idea in the first place. In fact, after that day, Ruan Yuhan went back to normal. She no longer hid from the MC, but after truly witnessing the cruelty of the apocalypse and the fragility of human life, her mindset became much more mature. She wanted to become stronger, so that if one day it was her turn, she could at least defend herself. Professor Wen, let's go. Don't pay attention to her. Seeing that they were about to leave, Zhang Weiwei hurriedly yelled, Hey, wait for me. Ruan Yuhan asked with amusement. Didn't you say you didn't want to go? I'm afraid that without me, you two would get eaten alive by zombies. Zhang Weiwei is still stubborn as ever. Then we must thank you for your concern. Of course, Professor Wen and the others decided to start by searching for supplies in the supermarket. On one hand, the zombies, they were all cleared out by the MC, so it's safer. On the other hand, last time, they only took less than half of it. There's still a lot left. It's not like making a trip for nothing. Because of the accumulated snow, the ground floor of the supermarket is also mostly buried under the snow. Fortunately, the glass door was smashed by the MC with a heavy truck, so they can crawl right into the supermarket. Let's first check if there are any live zombies, just in case we get attacked while moving the supplies. Professor Wen, who is usually very gentle, becomes serious. She still has a lot of authority and leadership. Remember to stay grouped up. Absolutely do not separate. Getting caught alone in a bad situation is a horror movie cliche. In real life, nobody would be stupid enough to act alone. Zhang Weiwei and Ruan Yuhan nodded, yes, understood. The three women searched carefully between the aisles on the ground floor. Unexpectedly, they actually ran into a zombie. This zombie probably broke into the supermarket later on. Professor Wen looked at the other two. Who wants to go first? Zhang Weiwei and Ruan Yuhan looked at each other, tension clear in their eyes. Oh well, I'll start. So Professor Wen decided to take the lead. After all, she had already killed a zombie before. She wasn't as clueless as the other two. Watch closely. This is how it's done. After saying this, Professor Wen took a deep breath and bypassed the zombie to get behind it. She raised the baseball bat above her head and swung with all her might. The zombie was instantly knocked to the ground, but Professor Wen is a woman, after all, and her strength wasn't as high as she thought. She had to strike several more times to kill the zombie. That's incredible. Professor Wen. That's awesome, Zhang Weiwei and Ruan Yuhan cheered while clapping their hands. Professor Wen caught her breath, see? These zombies are very stupid. We absolutely don't have to be afraid of them. As long as you don't make noise, you can easily sneak up behind them. Moreover, the head is their weak spot. Only destroying this part can kill them completely. Do you remember? We remember, replied the two women in unison. Very well. Next is Ruan Yuhan's turn. Ruan Yuhan nodded heavily. When the MC saw the three of them return, their faces and clothes were more or less stained with blood. But they all had a look of pure excitement on their faces. Although they didn't bring back many things, the MC knew they must have hit a milestone. So good haul, right? The three women looked at each other and replied. In one voice, very good. But I still have to remind you, absolutely do not think that just because you can kill one zombie, they are nothing. Unless you are immune to the zombie virus. They replied seriously, we understand. Good, you can go back and rest. Take a hot bath and relax. Great. The MC watched them enter the safe house happily. Then he headed toward the school building with Shen Xingwo. What he just said reminded him that as long as Professor Wen and the others aren't immune to the zombie virus, there would always be a risk of infection. To completely avoid this risk, the MC must extract from a female zombie to obtain a virus vaccine. As it happens, he knows exactly where to find one, a female zombie that definitely meets the system's requirements. Chapter 37, The Rapidly Evolving Zombie. Once inhabited by many students, the school building of survivors no longer has the breath of a living soul. And the brave grinder is our MC. After entering through the window, the MC also immediately bent down. He hasn't forgotten that in this building now, the zombies within a 100-meter radius have all gathered, plus the 20-plus students, making it a pure zombie landmark. Even though the MC is immune to the zombie virus plus, having Shen Qingguo, he doesn't dare guarantee that if he gets surrounded in such a tight place he can escape unscathed, so the necessary caution is still required. However, what puzzles him is that the building is completely silent. He can't hear a single sound. The MC poked his head out of the classroom, and a shocking scene appeared. He saw the entire hallway covered with corpses. The MC felt something was off. There shouldn't be this many students. Could it be that none of them turned into zombies? He stepped forward and flipped over the nearest corpse. Lifting the eyelids of the corpse, the MC confirmed that the body had indeed been infected. In other words, it was killed after turning into a zombie. The cause of death was its neck being snapped almost in half. Could it be that other survivors came here? Binha University doesn't just have one school building. There's no telling in which building there might still be surviving students, and the MC doesn't know, but judging by the degree of the zombie's neck snap, the MC concluded that this person's strength must be insanely high, and it's not something ordinary people could do. The MC kept flipping bodies over. The MC remembered his goal for this trip. He quickly took the hand of Shen Xingwo and ran upstairs. Arriving at the door of the broadcast room on the 5th floor, the MC opened the door and saw a corpse lying inside. Judging by the figure, it's obviously a girl. The MC muttered crap and he hurried over only to find that this corpse wasn't Sulan. The MC breathed a sigh of relief, but was also a bit puzzled. Weird. Why isn't Sulan here? Did she escape? He thought about it, but couldn't find a reasonable explanation, so he had to give up. He turned to Shen Qingguo and said, "Let's head back. Watch out behind you." Before Shen Qingguo even had time to turn around, she was sent flying backward by a massive force. The MC opened his arms and caught her. Why did he hold Shen Qingguo to steady her only to see Sulan, whom he was looking for, suddenly appear at the entrance of the broadcast room? "It's you. You didn't get infected." Hearing the MC's question, Sulan slowly raised her head, and he saw that her beautiful supple face was dotted with a few black lines, looking strange and dangerous. On her right arm, hanging naturally, there was a bite mark. This appearance looked nothing like a human. In other words, Sulan had indeed been infected and turned into a zombie at that moment. Sulan, who had remained motionless, suddenly started moving with a terrifying speed, pouncing on the two people inside. The MC quickly pushed Shen Xingwo to the side and rolled to the other side. He managed to dodge with great difficulty. He thought with a certain dread, what insane speed. This is absolutely not an ordinary zombie. Evidently, Sulan must have undergone a mutation, or rather, a speed mutation. Before the MC could get back up, Sulan turned into an afterimage once again. The MC thought she was coming for him and rolled backward in a pitiful manner, but what surprised him most was that Sulan's target wasn't him but Shen Qingguo. Shen Qingguo was still dazed when she was grabbed by the neck by Sulan and lifted up, applying force with her hand. She was about to snap Shen Qingguo's neck. "No," the MC shouted. Hearing the MC's cry, Shen Qingguo seemed to be activated. Her gaze suddenly became sharp. Her hands grabbed Sulan's hand and easily pried it loose. Sulan's expression shifted slightly and she even tilted her head in a human-like manner, seeming not to understand why Shen Qingguo's strength was even greater than hers. But Shen Qingguo didn't give her time to be surprised, grabbed her hand and threw her. No, she hurled Sulan, who crashed against the wall and slid to the floor. Simultaneously, the MC heard a system notification. Name Shen Qingguo, identity student campus beauty. Zombie strength mutation, affection, unwavering loyalty. Initial reward, 100 kilograms of selected raw meat. Base reward, zombie virus vaccine obtained. Full conquest reward, genetic evolution agent. The MC quickly noticed the changes in Shen Qingguo's status panel. Next to her zombie status, there was a strength mutation suffix, which wasn't there before. The MC had already sensed that Shen Qingguo's strength was far superior to that of ordinary zombies. Now it seems that she was constantly evolving, until she finished just now. The MC also took the time to check Sulan's status panel, name Sulan, identity art student pianist, zombie speed mutation, affection, friendly. Initial reward not obtained 2 choices. Advanced conquest reward, 2 choices, all artistic talents / genetic evolution agent. It can be seen that Sulan has an extra zombie status and an extra column for affection rewards. But in theory, Sulan no longer has any memories of her past human life. Her affection for the MC should be 0. How could she have a value of 40 affection points. Moreover, the target of Sulan's attack just now was Shen Qingwo and not himself. Looking at the zombie corpses everywhere in the building, the MC seemed to realize something. Sulan, who had been thrown against the wall, took a while to get back up. It turned out that Shen Qingwo's attack had caused her some damage and she was still muttering some words. Kill all the zombies. Kill all the zombies. As soon as the voice of Sulan faded, she rushed toward text Shen Qingwo. But fearing the monstrous strength of Shen Qingwo, this time she didn't launch a frontal attack, but moved quickly around Shen Qingwo instead. On the contrary, she ignored the MC on the side. With Shen Qingwo's vision, she could barely keep up with Sulan. Although she appeared in Shen Qingwo's blind spot, she clawed fiercely toward the back of her heart. As an observer, the MC naturally saw this scene. He shouted, "Qingwo, duck!" Shen Qingwo's obedience to the MC is unconditional. Hearing the shout, her brain hadn't even reacted yet, but her body had already automatically made the move to duck. Sulan's sneak attack failed once again. At that moment, the MC had already rushed behind her, holding her tightly in his arms from behind. Sulan struggled and twisted, but couldn't break free. As expected, Sulan has become a zombie that doesn't attack humans. The MC noticed this point and thought to himself, Chapter 38, Successful Conquest of Sulan. In his previous life, the MC had also seen many zombies and heard about some highly terrifying, purified zombies. But a zombie that doesn't attack humans. It was the first time he had ever seen one. At this moment, his body and Sulan's were almost glued together. As long as Sulan wanted to, she could easily harm the MC. But she didn't. She just struggled relentlessly. It's clear that she has absolutely no desire to attack the MC. Shen Qingwo was about to finish off Sulan, but the MC stopped her. "Don't kill her, she's useful to me. Bring me the rope from the backpack." Shen Qingwo listened obediently and took the rope. To tie up Sulan, the MC let go and looked with curiosity at the zombie Sulan. He discovered that as long as she approached, Sulan would calm down, but when Shen Qingwo approached, she became very agitated. Interesting. In life, she was a saint, and even infected. She's a zombie. Saint. We should add saint to your identity. The MC joked. Faced with this woman who had once made him both love and hate her, the MC was very calm. All the grudges and loves of the past faded away the moment Sulan became a zombie, dispersed. Objectively speaking, Sulan is definitely the most beautiful woman the MC has ever seen, especially when she is calm. As noble and elegant as a white lotus. From the snowy mountains, her long, straight, black hair gives off an aura of beauty. She involuntarily reminds one of a first love, but the black veins beneath her skin ruin this impression. However, she remains very beautiful. Shen Qingwo sees the MC staring at Sulan. She gets a little jealous and covers his eyes. "Don't do that." The MC pulls her hand away. Shen Qingwo stands completely in front of the MC. "Be good, I won't look okay." Shen Qingwo finally gives in and brings Sulan back to the safe house. The other girls surround her curious. "This is classmate Su." Professor Wen looks incredulous. "You mean she became a zombie that doesn't attack humans on her own?" "Yes. That's exactly the kind of thing she would do." Here are Ruan Yuhan and Zhang Weiwei as Sulan's roommates. They spent the most time with her. Their emotions are very complex right now. If only, do you regret not accepting my invitation back then? Now you look like this? What a pity. Zhang Weiwei is clearly reluctant, but she doesn't say it. After a moment of nostalgia, Professor Wen asked the MC, "So why did you bring her back? I plan to keep her here." "What?" exclaimed Zhang Weiwei. "You're keeping a zombie here and live with us. Feelings are one thing, but we have to consider our own safety." Zhang Weiwei remains very rational, which is one thing she has in common with the MC. The other two hesitate to speak. Although they learned from the MC that Sulan wouldn't attack people, they had all seen with their own eyes people they knew being devoured by zombies. They cannot accept living with a man-eating monster. The MC sees their doubts and says, "Rest assured, before training her to obey me, I won't untie her." Training a zombie. Professor Wen and Ruan Yuhan are hearing this for the first time. So zombies can actually be trained? Zhang Weiwei touches her chin thoughtfully and then says, "So Qingwo is also in this situation? You figured it out." The MC isn't surprised. He never hid this from them. And so many anomalies in Shen Qingwo cannot be hidden. It's just that Professor Wen trusts the MC too much, and Ruan Yuhan is purely naive, which is why she never realized it. "It's just that I had never thought about it before." "What do you mean? What's wrong with Qingwo?" Ruan Yuhan asked. With confusion, "I'm telling you to use your brain more. Haven't you noticed? Qingwo is a zombie." Zhang Weiwei rolled her eyes and explained. "When I draw, I always use my brain, okay?" Ruan Yuhan retorted at first with some attitude. "Then how could Qingwo be a zombie? Boss, tell us. Is Qingwo a zombie?" Ruan Yuhan looked at the MC waiting for his answer, but saw him nod his head. "It's true. No wonder." Professor Wen had a sudden epiphany. No wonder Qingwo isn't mute but doesn't speak much. No wonder she is so picky and only eats meat, no vegetables. No wonder her pupils are red. Ruan Yuhan then realized that Shen Qingwo has so many odd traits. "So, boss, can you really train zombies?" To make them look like Chingwo, asked Ruan Yuhan. Yes, the MC didn't mention the system. It's his ultimate trump card. It is absolutely impossible to tell anyone. Plus, the more mysterious and powerful he shows himself to be, the more they will have to consider the consequences of betraying him. Hearing that the MC could turn her into someone like Shen Qingguo, Ruan Yuhan and the others' hearts eased up a bit. After all they have lived with, Shen Qingguo and trust her enough. Zhang Weiwei even started teasing the MC. Boss, don't you have feelings for this one? To the point that you won't. Leave her alone even if she turns into a zombie. Am I really unable to satisfy you? What do you think the MC retorted? Zhang Weiwei's face turned completely red, remembering her embarrassing performance last time. But she remained stubborn, saying it was just a lack of experience. And next time might be different. Ruan Yuhan, who was standing nearby, listened to their conversation with her eyes wide open like light bulbs. Her little mouth was also wide open, unable to snap out of it for a long time. Professor Wen looked like she already knew everything. Her expression was very calm. Alright, go back to your business. Dismissing everyone, the MC extracted the initial reward for Sulan and chose 100 kilograms of beef. As for the first kiss, the MC looked at Sulan, who was motionless as if in a trance, and Shen Qingguo nearby, staring at him with vigilance. He thought it would be better to wait until the affection level reaches 60%. On the other side, after being dismissed, Ruan Yuhan found Zhang Weiwei again. Zhang Weiwei looked at her. Seeing her hesitation at the door, she couldn't help but say, "Come in." So stop beating around the bush. Say what you have to say. Ruan Yuhan plucked up her courage. Raising her head, "You said just now in the living room. You and the boss did that. Did what?" Zhang Weiwei pretended not to understand. Just that Ruan Yuhan was anxious a girl's modesty, preventing her from saying it directly. "Oh, that." Zhang Weiwei nodded her head. "So what's it to you?" Ruan Yuhan's two hands behind her back were about to twist her foot into a spiral, her little face turning bright red. "Why did you do that with the boss?" Zhang Weiwei suddenly became interested. Her eyes lit up, but before speaking, she first sighed softly. "Right now, since we're staying here, do we even have a choice?" As expected. Ruan Yuhan immediately took the bait, asking, "So, did he force you?" Chapter 39, Ruan Yuhan's seal is lifted. Seeing Ruan Yuhan take the bait, the corner of Zhang Weiwei's mouth smirked even more. "No, I was the one who took the initiative. Why?" Ruan Yuhan could not understand. "You didn't seem very willing before." "I have no choice. To avoid being abandoned, I can only do this." As soon as she heard these words, Ruan Yuhan reacted as if a keyword had been triggered. Her entire person became excited, her voice growing louder. "But why would he want to kick you out? Isn't it because I am useless and don't know how to do anything? Unlike Professor Wen, who knows medical care, or you who knows how to draw blueprints, at least you still have short-term value." Short-term value. Ruan Yuhan heard these words and her heart tightened. Zhang Weiwei continued talking to herself. "So, to be able to stay, I could only find this solution. Am I going to be kicked out too?" Ruan Yuhan couldn't help but ask. Maybe Zhang Weiwei was pensive. "After all, the drawings will eventually be finished." "No." "What should I do?" Ruan Yuhan nervously squeezed Zhang Weiwei's hand. Her expression was so pitiful that Zhang Weiwei almost softened, but thinking back to before, that she was always at odds with her. Zhang Weiwei nodded with a serious face. After dinner, the MC was busy feeding Sulan. Although Sulan had become a zombie, she still chews slowly when she eats. But Shen Qingguo is the exact opposite. At that moment, Zhang Weiwei found him and said to him, "Boss, I want to work overtime." Now the term overtime seems to have become a code word between them. Hearing these words, the hand of the MC trembled and he almost dropped the bowl of food. The MC glanced at Shen Qingguo and then replied, "I'll go to your room later." "Got it." Zhang Weiwei walked away, swaying her hips charmingly. In the evening, the MC had a hard time convincing Shen Qingguo not to follow him. He sneaked into Zhang Weiwei's room like a thief. The dark room didn't have any lights turned on. Zhang Weiwei didn't come to greet the MC but was lying on the bed, covered with a blanket. Because it was warm in the shelter, the blanket she wore wasn't thick. The graceful curves of her body underneath were clearly visible. "We know each other so well now, are you still shy?" The MC took off his clothes, lifted a corner of the blanket and slid inside. When the cold body of the MC touched her warm body, one could clearly feel her body tremble slightly. "Oh, you already undressed. You were in a hurry waiting, right?" The MC's large hand roamed her body at his pleasure. A smooth sensation made him addicted. "Looks like your waist got a bit smaller." In another room, Professor Wen looked at the helpless Zhang Weiwei, who took up almost the whole bed. "So, why did you swap rooms with Ruan Yuhan?" "Oh, Professor Wen, I missed you. Come here quick, come here quick. I've never slept with a girl before." Zhang Weiwei was a bit excited and patted her shoulder. Professor Wen lay down on the bed. "Wow, Professor Wen, your skin is so nice, don't be mad at me." "Wow, Professor Wen, how come you're so big here?" "I don't know, it's natural. I envy you so much. If I were as big as you, the boss would definitely not..." Professor Wen furrowed her brows. What does that have to do with the MC? Because the boss is a man. Men love big chests. Big is good. Good is big. Professor Wen pushed her away gently. Stop talking nonsense. I'm not talking nonsense. Haven't you noticed? The boss often peeks at you in secret, Zhang Weiwei said with a cheeky smile. Professor Wen was still hesitant, so she turned it around. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to sleep. And in Zhang Weiwei's room, the MC was doing pretty much the same thing as Zhang Weiwei. Only Zhang Weiwei was just pleasing herself with her hands, while the MC could use the real thing. With the woman's slightly painful groan, the MC did a kip up and got off the bed. He turned on the light only to see that the one lying on the bed was actually Ruan Yuhan. How come it's you? The MC couldn't help but ask. Ruan Yuhan was unable to speak. Did Zhang Weiwei tell you something? I'm going to go find her. Don't, Ruan. Yuhan didn't care about being naked and got off the bed grabbing the MC's hand. I was the one who asked her. It has nothing to do with her. Because the light was on, the MC could clearly see Ruan Yuhan's face. She was wearing rare makeup on her face and had tied up the bangs on her forehead, revealing her fair forehead. The glasses that used to hide a quarter of her face had also been removed. A flash of amazement crossed the MC's eyes. I didn't expect that Ruan Yuhan's true appearance would be this beautiful. Just looking at her face, she was even more beautiful than Zhang Weiwei and Professor Wen. Even more beautiful, comparable to Shen Ting. Whoa, it's just the lower part of her face. That's a bit of a pity. But the feeling of being in control is always special. Based on the experience that the MC just had, it's quite simply awesome. She felt the fiery gaze of the MC. Ruan Yuhan, a bit shy, covered her body. The MC then withdrew his gaze. He asked her, why are you doing this? I don't want you to kick me out, Ruan. Yuhan said with certainty. Didn't I tell you several times that as long as you work for me, I won't kick you out, I know, but I just have no confidence. According to the description from Ruan, Yuhan here lack of confidence stems from her childhood. Note, there are more chapters ahead, please. Click on the next page to continue reading. It gets more exciting later. When she was very young, her parents divorced and she was raised by her grandmother. After her grandmother died, she was dumped onto her uncle's family. This kind of life, where you're tossed around like a burden and living as a parasite, shaped her personality to be sensitive and timid, leaving her with an extreme lack of security. So, an unhappy childhood can really affect an entire life. Seeing Ruan Yuhan crying so sadly, the MC felt a bit sorry for her. He stroked her head as if petting a kitten. Alright, remember this here. As long as you don't betray me, I will never kick you out. Really, Ruan Yuhan looked at the MC pitifully. Really, said the MC with certainty. Thank you, boss. Ruan Yuhan, like a swallow returning to its nest, threw herself into the MC's arms. At first, the MC still had the leisure to comfort her, but as time passed, his body started to act a bit different. No way around it, with a naked little beauty right next to him. The MC is no saint. Naturally, he couldn't help but react. Ruan Yuhan noticed it too and slowly backed away from the MC's embrace. Alright, boss, I'm not afraid of you anymore. You can go back, said the MC in a raspy voice. How can I go back like this? Ruan Yuhan subconsciously lowered her head to look, then quickly looked away. She looked to the side and asked, what should we do then? Of course we have to finish what was started. The MC seized the opportunity. If things go sideways, wanting to escape Ruan Yuhan threw him on the bed, turning into a wolf herself. She pounced right on him. Chapter 40, Ruan Yuhan's affection reward. The next morning at the table, Professor Wen, who had taken over the cooking duty, wore an apron, coming out of the kitchen with fragrant dishes. She said, wow, that smells so good. What delicious thing did Professor Wen make this time? Zhang Weiwei, while walking, couldn't help but reach out. But Professor Wen slapped her hand away, rolled her eyes, and said, the MC isn't up yet, go wake him. That's not a good idea, Zhang Weiwei smirked gently and said, how would I dare wake him? What if he has a bad case of morning crankiness? That's during normal times. Under special circumstances? It's not for sure, muttered Zhang Weiwei. What special circumstances? Professor Wen asked curiously. Nothing. Zhang Weiwei didn't dare say it directly. Yesterday, Zhang Weiwei was only thinking about making that brat Ruan Yuhan suffer. She hadn't realized at all that she had also set up the MC. Now thinking back on it, she realized that this was bad. With the MC's personality, what he hates the most is deception and exploitation. What if he gets angry and wants revenge? So ever since she got up today, Zhang Weiwei has been feeling uneasy, glancing from time to time at the room where the MC was staying. My god, if you're not going, I'll go, said Professor Wen, taking off her apron. She headed toward the MC's room. No, Zhang Weiwei rushed to stop Professor Wen. At that exact moment, the door to the MC's room opened from the inside. The breathing of Zhang Weiwei briefly stopped, then she saw the MC coming out from inside. She asked, totally puzzled, boss, how did you come out from there? The MC said in an annoyed tone. If I don't come out of my room, should I come out of yours? Seriously, Zhang Weiwei, what is your problem? Professor Wen also chimed in. It's nothing. I heard the bathroom door just now. I thought the MC was in the bathroom. Zhang Weiwei dodged the question, but she was still completely bewildered. Didn't the MC go into her room last night? A click sounded. The door to Zhang Weiwei's room opened as well. leaving behind her girlish innocence, and glowing with a rich aura. Ruan Yuhan walked out from inside. Such major changes happened to a partner they spent every single day together with, so how could Professor Wen not see it? She said with surprise. Ruan Yuhan, when did you change your hairstyle? It's from yesterday. It's so beautiful. You should have tied up those damn bangs a long time ago. After being complimented by Professor Wen, the embarrassed Ruan Yuhan tossed her slender braid behind her. Alright, everyone is here. Let's eat. The MC interrupted. Professor Wen and the others sat down together at the table. During the meal, Zhang Weiwei's foxy eyes kept shifting back and forth between the MC and Ruan Yuhan, not to mention Ruan Yuhan. This thin-skinned girl even. The MC was a bit embarrassed and gave her a sharp glare. Just eat. Why are you staring like that? Nothing, Zhang. Weiwei was already certain that something had gone down between Ruan Yuhan and the MC last night. The changes in Ruan Yuhan cannot deceive her eyes. That hydrated complexion, her eyes glowing like water, and those rosy peach blossom cheeks all show that Ruan Yuhan has been well fed by a man. Zhang Weiwei had that exact same look when she looked at herself in the mirror that day. Professor Wen is older and more experienced, but after all, she hasn't seen the world yet and didn't notice anything. It's normal. So Zhang Weiwei couldn't help but smirk. The MC couldn't help but take his chopsticks and tap her on the head, so happy. After the meal, you will do the dishes and clean the entire safe house. Zhang Weiwei immediately lost her smile. Although the safe house is only 100 square meters, it's still a massive pain to clean. If I don't give you a good scolding, who knows who you'll sneak into my bed one day, thought the MC. Although the MC himself doesn't mind and even finds a certain pleasure in it, plus, this is also a way to get revenge for Ruan Yuhan. After all, her performance last night was pretty satisfying. Name Ruan Yuhan, identity, architecture student, affection meter hitting the jackpot, totally worth it. Initial reward sewage treatment equipment. You can choose. First kiss reward surveillance system. You can get full guide reward, 4 automatic turrets, as well as dedicated ammunition for the automatic turret, caseless. Ruan Yuhan's personality itself is also very traditional. Once she gives her body to someone, she considers that person the one she will follow for life. A shy and introverted girl like this is easily tricked by a scumbag who steals her body and her feelings. Fortunately, she met our MC. He doesn't steal her feelings, only her body. Next is her affection meter task. 2 tasks are completed at the same time. Initial reward. The MC chose the sewage treatment equipment over the solar power generation equipment and the sewage treatment equipment. After all, water is the source of life. People can live without electricity or internet, but without water, they can only last 3 days at most. The treatment equipment for sewage can treat all the wastewater of the safe house, purifying it to achieve full recycling. As for the solar power generation equipment, there's no need to be in too much of a hurry for now. There are clouds 24 hours a day, making it impossible to collect much solar energy. Plus, the MC has a gasoline generator, so it can also keep running for a while. The surveillance system given as the first kiss reward includes 4 wireless cameras and 1 monitor. As long as the cameras have batteries, there's no need to go outside. Ruan Yuhan, you can focus on your drawings. Zhang Weiwei, you are responsible for cleaning the safe house. As for Professor Wen, the MC couldn't think of what she should do, so he just gave Professor Wen a random job. You are responsible for monitoring Zhang Weiwei. Zhang Weiwei immediately exploded, jumping up. Making me clean is fine, but why do I need to be monitored? I don't agree. The MC glanced at her. This was originally the arrangement for Zhang Weiwei, and both parties knew it very well. So, Zhang Weiwei is still holding a grudge. I'm convinced that's enough. As for the MC, he planned to install cameras at the school entrance and also at the back of the mountain to be able to quickly spot anyone entering the school. In the process, he and Shen Tingwo searched the school to see if there were still any generators and gasoline. In general, good schools prepare for sudden power outages by stocking up on generators. Binhai University, as the top university in Binhai City, naturally has some too. The day ended and the MC's team successfully accomplished their task. After the completion of Shen Qingwo's evolution, her strength directly increased by several dozen times. Killing zombies has become incredibly simple. One grab, one twist, and it's a corpse. Previously, it took several people to move a gasoline drum. She could lift it alone, and besides Shen Qingwo doesn't get tired either. She's a perfect labor tool. The MC naturally handed all the work over to Shen Qingwo and just gave orders from the side. Chapter 41, News from the Safe Zone. When they returned to the shelter, it was already evening. After having dinner, since there was no entertainment and no internet on the phones, everyone stayed together in the living room chatting. Ruan Yuhan was messing with the radio brought back from the supermarket. Zhang Weiwei complained, "This is so boring. I want to play mobile games so bad." The MC also thought, should we wait until the planting zone is finished and create an entertainment zone? Otherwise, these 24 hours a day will really be hard to bear. Ron Yuhan, what are you doing with that radio? Zhang Weiwei asked, annoyed. This radio had been found the last time they went together to the supermarket back then. Ron Yuhan had strongly suggested bringing it back. I'm tuning the channels to see if I can receive any information from the outside, Ron Yuhan explained while turning the knob. No one knows what adjustment she made, but human voices sounded from the radio, which was emitting a constant static noise. I found a signal, Ron Yuhan shouted with joy. Quick, let me hear what they are saying. Everyone became interested and surrounded Ron Yuhan. They held their breath listening. Attentively, a man's voice came out of the radio. He said this, Dear citizens of Binhai, I am the mayor of Binhai. I believe everyone has suffered terrible losses, crises and natural disasters. We are still in a desperate situation. As the mayor, I sympathize with your plight. But here I am, going to announce some good news. Thanks to our untiring efforts, we successfully reclaimed the Haitian district. Now right here, as a safe zone, it will be open to all citizens. Please spread this information among fellow citizens and head to Haitian on your own initiative. If you have family members who cannot move easily, you can also stay home and wait for rescue. We will send rescue personnel as soon as possible. Rest assured, dear citizens, I am with you. Upon hearing this news, everyone's reactions were completely different. Zhang Weiwei was very excited, saying it turns out that besides us in Binhai, there are other survivors. Like I said, they're just zombies. So how could they destroy humanity? At first, they could only cause a bit of chaos. But once humans adapt, they'll soon be wiping out the zombies. Ruin Yuhan is also very happy. But if Ruin Yuhan thinks that the apocalypse is only about zombies and cold waves, then she is way too naive. As a reincarnator, the MC knows perfectly well that after the cold wave, there will be several more waves of crises. As for why only a few waves, it's because by that time in his past life, the MC was already dead. If he had been allowed to live a few more years, he could have seen much more. Take the current situation regarding the aliens who might have already landed on this planet in order to fight for survival space. They will hunt down humans. The MC had heard about large safe zones before his reincarnation, but they all vanished in a short period of time. So it's not good to have too many people. On the contrary, it makes it easy to get exposed. But in order not to discourage them and make them lose hope in life, the MC has no intention of telling them. You two are so happy. Are you planning to go to this safe zone? Professor Wen asked, and Ron Yuhan stole a glance at the MC, her eyes filled with deep affection, and then she replied, I'm not going. I think it's great here. In fact, Ruan Yuhan just wanted to follow the MC. If he stayed, she would stay with him. If he left, she would follow him, no matter where. Zhang Weiwei didn't think that much. Being carefree, she just thought, it was better here. I'm not going either. Think about it with so many people. There won't be enough food for everyone. It definitely won't be as comfortable as here. Shen Xingguo is getting smarter and smarter now. She can already understand their conversation, but she still doesn't like to speak. She silently hugs the MC's right arm, expressing her thoughts through actions. Seeing her so obedient, the MC strokes her head as a reward. Zhang Weiwei seems to remember something and exclaims with her mouth wide open, wait. The mayor of Binhai City. Isn't that Du Yanxiang's father? Hearing this, Professor Wen and Ruan Yuhan couldn't help but cast a worried glance at the MC. They all knew that Du Yanxiang had run into a conflict with the MC and was killed by the MC. The MC furrowed his brows. At the beginning, Du Yanxiang had indeed mentioned his father only. The MC didn't give him the chance to say it and had straight up eliminated him. Unexpectedly, there is such a big trouble behind this, but the MC doesn't regret it. If he had to do it over again, he still wouldn't hesitate to kill Du Yanxiang. It's nothing Du Tong. Du Yanxiang's father doesn't know that Du Yanxiang is dead. And even if he did know, so what? As long as we don't say anything, who will know that the boss killed him? Said Ruan Yuhan, that's right. We will definitely keep it a secret. The other two also expressed their agreement. The MC knew that if he didn't speak up, they would keep worrying. So he smiled slightly and said, I believe you guys. Don't worry. There won't be any problem. Even though he said that the MC had already made a decision, he was preparing to visit this so-called safe zone. He always nips problems in the bud. Immediately, he will never leave threats unattended. Seeing the atmosphere get a bit serious, Zhang Weiwei changed the subject, saying, Ronnie Yuhan tuned the channels again, see if there's any other news. Ronnie Yuhan adjusted it and indeed received several other messages coming from safe zones in other cities. There are also individual survivors sending out signals. Most of the safe zones are recruiting personnel, while individual survivors are trading supplies. Everyone stayed by the radio listening for a while until they got sleepy and left one after another. The Haitian district was originally a high-end villa district in Binhai. Those who live here are either rich or noble, so the construction of this district is also pretty good. The walls are high and thick, blocking most of the zombies outside, so most of the residents living here survived. The walls were originally used to keep out the poor, keeping out the zombies, who turned into the poor protecting. The rich can also be considered as having played its part. as the mayor of Binhai Dutong. Dutong naturally has the ability to live here. After the crisis, he reclaimed the district with the security team and a portion of the residents. Now, it has become a temporary safe zone. In Binhai, a man in a security uniform found Mayor Dutong, Mayor Du today. 11 more citizens came to ask for help, 5 men and 6 women. Their information is all recorded in the spreadsheet. Dutong has a square face. By appearance, he looks quite righteous. Hearing this news, he was very happy and patted the security guard's shoulder. Very well, you handle this. The young men are assigned to the search team. The elderly, children and women are assigned to logistics. The leader of the security team, Zhang Da, was praised by Duo. Tong and his entire person was full of enthusiasm. This is the mayor of Binhai. In the past, he could only see big figures on television and through the car window when he opened the door for them. Chapter 42, Dutong's schemes. The security team leader Zhang Da hesitated and said, however, the property owners of the district are not willing to let so many outsiders enter the neighborhood, saying it would affect the neighborhood's security, and they're complaining to the security team. Those fools. They're truly spoiled by the old society. What time is it now? Still caring about those things? Dutong sneered. Go back and tell them that if they join the search team to look for supplies outside the compound, I'll kick all those outsiders out. Understood. The mayor is truly smart. With their tiny courage, sending them outside is basically like a death sentence. That should shut them up. Yes. Dutong wanted to say something more, but he heard a soft voice coming from upstairs. Dutong, do you have any news about Yang Xiang? A woman who looked to be in her 30s came down from upstairs. Her hair was tied up and held by an exquisite hairpin. Her oval face wore light makeup, but she was no less beautiful than any movie star. The cheongsam highlighted her curvy figure. Beneath the slit of the cheongsam, a pair of gorgeous legs without any extra fat appeared and disappeared with her movements. She was a beauty full of classic charm. Dutong was about to answer when behind the classic beauty followed a young girl wearing a black leather jacket and skirt with a pair of leather boots on her feet and black thigh highs. The young girl said, oh please, what is there to worry about? Bad guys live forever. He won't die that easily. Jaja, don't talk about your brother like that. The classic beauty got angry, but even her tone was gentle. In comparison to her, Dutong's tone was much rougher. Du Jia, Yang Xiang is your brother. Do you have any conscience? And also, why are you dressed so weirdly? Go change quickly. Du Jia was also quite stubborn. No, I don't want to. What's wrong with my outfit? Isn't it pretty? See, even your subordinate is staring. Hearing this, Dutong looked at Zhang Da, and as expected, he saw the other person look away. Zhang Da also had his own thoughts. These two beauties, one older and one younger, appearing at the same time. Yeah. If he didn't look at them, he wouldn't be a man. In fact, what he looked at the most wasn't Du Jia, but her mother, that is Dutong's wife, Tang Qin. Compared to this brat who hadn't even finished, growing up a woman like Tang Qin, ripe as a peach, was always what hit his desire the most. But Zhang Da didn't dare say it. If he said it, Dutong would surely be even angrier. After all, a daughter will eventually marry off, but a wife is one's own. So Zhang Da didn't choose to defend himself. Dutong said to team leader Zhang, you can leave after finishing your report. Yes. Mayor Du Zhang Da hastily bowed and walked out of the villa. At that moment, he was already breaking a sweat. Du Jia continued to say, anyway, you've never cared about anyone but your precious son. Why do you care what I do now? Dutong has a strong sexist mindset. He terribly spoils his only precious son Do Yang Xiang while ignoring Du Jia. Gradually, Du Yanxiang became more and more arrogant and domineering, while Du Jia became more and more rebellious and subversive. Dutong doesn't think he is wrong, but because Du Jia stood up to him, she made him lose face as the patriarch. He was very angry. You still dare to talk back to me? Go back to your room immediately. Lock yourself up and reflect. Du Jia snorted in anger. She turned around and went upstairs. Tang Qin was caught in the middle in a difficult position. She could only step forward to smooth things over. All right, calm down. Don't argue with a child. Look at what you've done to that girl. Does she even have a father like me in her eyes anymore? Dutong blames his educational failure on Tang Qin. Tang Qin was used to accepting it meekly and did not refute. She just waited quietly on the side. Dutong said, after calming down, I only have this one son, Yang Xiang. I care about him more than anyone. He's missing now, and I'm the one who's most worried. Tang Qin listened in silence. He'll be fine, he'll be fine. Tang Qin clasped her hands over her chest, blessing her son. A few days later, Run Yuhan found the MC. The new blueprints were finally drawn. The MC was thrilled. That's great, let me see quick. He took the blueprints. Ruan Yuhan introduced from the side according to your requirements. The new zone is divided into 3 parts. The planting zone, the livestock zone, and the prison cell. However, due to the limited space, the livestock zone can only raise small animals like chickens and ducks. The planting zone is better. At least there is enough soil. The MC nodded his head with satisfaction. The treated wastewater can be used for irrigation. Vegetable leaves can be used to feed the livestock, and livestock manure can be used for fertilizer. This is also a form of recycling. The current scale can allow 5 people to be self-sufficient. If the number of people increases, it won't be possible. Ron Yuhan said, that's fine. We don't just have one food source. The MC also has a system. Any draw yields 100 kilograms of food, enough to feed twice as many people. Plus, the scale is small now, but it can be expanded in the future, right? The prison cell is designed with 3 cells. Each room can fit 1 bed. Well done. Thanks for your hard work. Hearing the MC's praise, Ron Yuhan was thrilled, but she insisted it's not hard work at all. The MC took the blueprints, went outside the safe house, and told the system to claim the rewards. Quickly, a new building appeared next to the safe house. Connected to the safe house, you can go back and forth between the 2 buildings through a passageway. The MC was walking around when suddenly, the safe house alarm rang. His expression changed, and he quickly headed to the surveillance screen. The camera he had installed last time at the school gate caught a group of 4 people entering the campus. There are 3 men and 1 woman. I've never seen them before. Who are they and what are they doing here? Because he didn't know their identities and their reason for coming. The MC had no intention of meeting them and planned to wait for them to leave on their own. But these 4 people clearly had a target, and instead of wandering around aimlessly on the campus like headless chickens, they headed straight toward a school building. One of them said while walking, according to the info, the mayor's son, Du Yangsheng, had a base here, right before the zombie outbreak, so he should be in the school building. Chapter 43, Officer Su, Rui. The 3 men in this 4-person team are pretty ordinary, but the only woman in the team wore a down jacket with a police uniform underneath. Their movement patterns are good. You can tell they aren't ordinary people. Their dialogue proves it too. Officer Su, what do you think, Su? Rui is a female officer from the Binhai police force. When the zombie crisis broke out, the entire police station fell. Fortunately, Rui was on duty near the community of Haitian at that time, and that's how she survived. Later, she actively joined the search and rescue team, wanting to live up to her police uniform and fulfill her responsibilities. The first order she receives is to rescue the mayor's son. As for Surui regarding this matter, she is actually a bit critical and reluctant. She voluntarily joined the search and rescue team to save more citizens, instead of running far away and putting in huge efforts to rescue a mayor's son. She doesn't want to become a slave to the powerful. However, Du Tong told her that although her primary task is to bring back Du Yanxiang, it's also to check if there are still survivors at Binhai University. Those students are at the core of reconstructing civilized society. Once Surui's team discovers that there is still a large number of surviving students, Du Tong will immediately send out more rescue teams. Only then did Surui accept this task. However, looking at the deserted campus in front of her, Surui doesn't have much hope anymore. She sighs, saying there's very little hope. In densely populated places like schools, the zombie outbreak is simply devastating. So what should we do? If we don't find the mayor's son, it won't be easy to go back. Surui's impression of Du Tong is still pretty good. After all, his image is still quite glorious and righteous. So she says, let's do our best and leave the rest to fate. Mayor Du knows that we did our best and he won't blame us. Soon, the 4 people arrived in front of the teaching building and jumped inside. Rui carefully checks the classroom, her right hand resting on her hip where her gun is holstered. There seems to be something. The 3 other people are also each holding a weapon, following her. As they walk out of the classroom and arrive in the hallway, Rui and the others are stunned by the scene before them. There are so many corpses. Who on earth could have done this? They were bewildered and continued to search. Soon, the entire teaching building was searched, and to their disappointment, Du Yanxiang was not there. However, it was a blessing in disguise. If he were here, he would absolutely be one of the corpses in the hallway. On the contrary, his absence here indicates that he might still be alive. One of them discovered something. He called the other 3, look, there is a strange building over there. What is it for? I don't know, but let's go check it out. Maybe our mission objective is inside. In the end, Rui made the decision, let's go take a look. The 4 arrived in front of the safe house, circling around the building from time to time. They even let out a cry of exclamation. What is this house made of? It looks like metal. Looks like titanium. Isn't that the material used to build airplanes? This must cost a fortune. Who has the means to build a house out of titanium? Quick, come look over here. There's a truck here. The 4 went behind the safe house. They discovered a heavy-duty truck which immediately grabbed all their attention. A heavy-duty truck 13 meters long and nearly 4 meters high stood right before them. The shock it brought was pretty intense. It was simply a certified eye-catcher for men. Unlike the other 3 who marveled at the truck's appearance, Surui thought more about its usefulness. The current snow is several meters thick, and the lower layer is even more compacted, as hard as ice. Ordinary vehicles can't drive on such a road at all. Otherwise, it wouldn't have taken them 3 days to get from the Haitian community to Binhai University. Moreover, due to transportation issues, the rescuers transporting supplies can only rely on manpower, and the efficiency is super low. It's estimated that only this kind of heavy-duty truck can drive on the ice. If she could drive this heavy-duty truck, she could definitely save more people. Thinking about this, Surui asked someone to climb up to see if there were keys in the ignition. Our MC, who had been observing the actions of these few people from inside the safe house, finally couldn't sit still anymore, bringing Shen Qingwo along with him. The opening of the door suddenly caught the attention of Surui and the others. They looked toward the door and saw a man and a woman walk out. The man looked quite young, and the woman was even younger, as if she had just reached adulthood, with a totally harmless appearance. "Excuse me, what are you doing around my truck?" the MC asked in a loud voice. "Hello, is this truck yours?" Yes, the MC nodded. The person on the truck jumped down and Surui pulled out a photo and asked, "Are you also a student at this school? Have you seen this person?" The MC took the photo and looked at it. He found that the person in the photo was indeed Du Yangxiang, just as he had guessed. The MC naturally wouldn't admit to having seen him, nor would he tell them that Du Yangxiang's body was right under their feet in the school building. He shook his head and said he hadn't seen him. "Alright, Sue." Rui took back the photo with regret. Compared to the mayor's son, right now, she was way more interested in this heavy-duty truck. So she brought the subject back. "Can I ask you? That's none of your business, is it?" One man couldn't help but snap. "Kid, what's with that attitude? How can you speak to Officer Sue like that?" He turned to Surui and said, "In my opinion, this truck must have been stolen by this kid. That's why he doesn't dare to say it." The MC took an unexpected look at Surui. "Are you a cop?" Another man answered before Surui. "Yes, are you scared? Be honest. Confess your crimes and hand over the truck, otherwise, you're going to send me to jail." The MC burst into laughter and the three men were so angry that they rolled up their sleeves. They were ready to teach the MC a lesson. They planned to use pure moral blackmail. "It's like this. This truck is very important to us if we have it. Our search and rescue work will be much easier. So I hope I can requisition the truck. But moral blackmail is even more useless against our MC. No way, who knows if you'll return it after taking it. Rest assured, I guarantee it with my status as a police officer." To win the MC's trust, Sue, Rui added, "By the way, we come from the Haitian district. I'm sure you must have received the news about it, namely that the mayor is running the safe zone. I can take you there too, that way. You don't have to worry about your truck being in danger." Chapter 44, Going to the Safe Zone. The MC was precisely looking for an opportunity to sneak into the safe zone. After hearing the proposal from Surui, he hesitated. Briefly then, gave up on giving away heavy trucks. In the apocalypse, they are strategic and transport tools. Giving it to his enemies would be pure idiocy. So after thinking it over, the MC shook his head and rejected it. "No, I'm doing perfectly fine here." While refusing, the MC carefully observed Surui. Compared to the girls in his house, Sue, Rui is definitely the most special one. With her clean and sharp short black hair, her expression reveals a fierce energy. You can't see her figure because of her down jacket. However, the long legs beneath the down jacket are definitely the best proportions the MC has ever seen on a woman. The MC couldn't help but be curious. What would she look like in her police uniform underneath her down jacket while wearing it? Such a woman should also meet the system standards, right? The MC opened the system to check, and sure enough, name Surui, identity, police officer, member of the Foreign Affairs Association. Affection meter 0 stranger. Initial reward. Firearms mastery. First kiss reward. Random firearm plus 100 bullets. Full guide reward armory. The MC was highly tempted seeing that Surui's reward was a firearm. At that moment, a male team member interrupted the MC's train of thought. "Officer Sue, why are you wasting your time with him? Pull out your gun and he'll naturally hand over the car keys." Hearing that Surui had a gun, the MC's gaze suddenly became sharp, and he looked at her waist. Sure enough, at that spot, there was an inconspicuous bulge. The MC's brain started spinning rapidly, simulating once a conflict broke out, how he would deal with the four of them. The biggest threat remained the pistol at Surui's waist. It is obviously unrealistic to try and control her before she draws her weapon. So he can only take a bullet, buying time for Shen Qingwo. As long as Shen Qingwo can close the distance, with her strength, she can easily deal with the four. But Sue, Rui obviously doesn't want a conflict to happen. In her eyes, the MC is just an ordinary citizen who is too attached to his property and lacks trust. "I will not draw my gun on a citizen," said Surui with a firm look. Officer Sue, without saying another word, Surui pointed a finger at her team members, then she looked at Shen Qingwo behind the MC. A hint of envy flashed through her eyes. What a beautiful young girl. If it were him, with a girl so beautiful and obedient by his sides, he wouldn't be willing to risk his life to move to a completely unknown place either. Thinking she had guessed the MC's thoughts, Sue, Rui told him, "If you are not sure about our safe zone, you can totally come and check it out with us alone, then come back to get the others." The MC nodded his head. It's a good suggestion, but he didn't accept immediately, instead pretending to be conflicted, and only nodded his head after a long moment. "All right, then I'll take a trip with you guys," Surui said happily. Okay then, let's head back right away. Officer Su, the main mission of this trip is to bring back the mayor's son. A male team member reminded her, if the person you're looking for is also a student, I can only tell you that there are no more living people in this school, said the MC. The ice sea is so massive. Finding someone is like looking for a needle in a haystack. We can't waste any more time like this. Su. Rui is very clear about the situation. Continuing to search is just a waste of time. Or we can split up here. I'll bring him back first, and you guys keep searching. The three smiled at each other awkwardly. Without Tsurui around, they didn't really have much confidence to enter dangerous areas to look for people. No problem, right? Let's get ready to leave. Wait. At that moment, the MC spoke up again. I need to get a few things sorted first. Tsurui showed her understanding. We can wait for you for 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, we leave on the dot. The MC takes Shun Qingwo back into the shelter. Professor Wen and the others were waiting for the MC inside. Seeing him return, they hastily asked what happened. The MC told them about his conversation with Tsurui, and then he said, I have to leave. For a little while, about 3 or 4 days. While I'm gone, all the shelter's affairs will be managed by Professor Wen. Ruan. Yuhan was a bit worried. Can you just not go? Professor Wen pulled her back. Ron Yuhan, the MC, must have his reasons for going. What we can do is try our best to do our jobs well and not make him worry, alright? I'll wait for you. Ruan Yuhan let go of the MC's sleeve. The MC said a few more words to them. Finally, only Shun Qingwo was left. She was also the one giving him the biggest headache. She followed him everywhere he went. No matter how he explained it to her, she pretended not to understand. Even if he hit her, she wasn't afraid of the pain. Helpless, the MC had to tell her, while I'm gone, you must commit to protecting the shelter and the others. When I get back whatever reward you want, I promise you anything. The red light in Shen, Qingwo's pupils lit up and then she nodded her head. The MC smiled proudly. Kids are so easy to trick. They can believe even empty promises. The MC remembered that he had promised her they'd eat lollipops together, but he hadn't done that either. Putting on a backpack just for show, the MC walked out of the shelter and said to the people waiting at the door, I'm ready, we can leave. Tsurui and the others had previously spent 3 days to arrive at Binhai University because they didn't know the route well and had to avoid the zombies. For the return trip, it wouldn't take that much time. At most, 1 day would be enough. The MC followed them silently, memorizing the path. At the same time, he gathered information from Tsurui about the news of the Haitian district safe zone through indirect small talk. According to Tsurui, before they left, the Haitian district had about a dozen survivors coming to seek refuge every day. In these 3 days, there would probably be 50 more people. Combined with the original residents of the Haitian district, the number of people could reach 100, making it a pretty big camp. Furthermore, the MC learned Tsurui's name and found an opportunity. He touched her arm and successfully claimed the initial reward, firearms mastery. At that moment, the MC felt as if he had held guns his entire life. He was fully aware of the firing ranges and ballistic drop of various firearms. Tsurui also noticed the change in the MC, feeling that his eyes were full of confidence. This reminded Tsurui of one of her trainers from the shooting association, a retired veteran. Finally, before nightfall, Tsurui and the others successfully arrived at the Haitian Residential District. Chapter 45, Dutong's Conspiracy. The Haitian Residential District deserves its reputation as the best residential district in Binhai City. Its total area is even larger than a school. There is a security booth at the entrance of the residential district. The security guard on duty inside alertly picked up a walkie-talkie after seeing the MC and the others. Please stay where you are and state your purpose. Rui replied, I am Rui from the search and rescue team. Please wait. The security guard took the roster and looked through it. After seeing Rui's name on the list, he pressed the button to open the gate. The electric gate slowly opened. Tsurui and the others walked in. The MC was the last one. However, they hadn't even taken 2 steps before being stopped again. Hello, to ensure that no infected person sneaks in. Please cooperate with us for a physical examination. After the man finished speaking, Tsurui followed the woman behind her and left. She gestured for the MC and the 3 others to follow. Arriving inside a security booth, she asked the MC to take off his clothes to check if he had any injuries. Since everyone is a guy, the MC wasn't embarrassed either. After examining his body, he walked out of the security booth. Tsurui was alone. She had already finished her physical exam. She was waiting at the door. After seeing the MC come out, the MC gave a slight nod, watching Tsurui take the 3 other people with her. The MC assumed Rui should be making her report to the mayor. Right, then if I follow her, won't I find out where this mayor lives? Thinking about this, the MC discreetly followed them. Inside the Haitian district, there were quite a few people walking back and forth. Judging by the way they dressed, they didn't seem to be original residents, and most of them were in a hurry, not wanting to stay outside in the cold for long. So, the movements of the MC didn't attract anyone's attention. He successfully followed Tsurui. After seeing them enter a villa, the MC deduced that this was definitely the mayor's house. He circled around the villa, trying to see if there was a way to eavesdrop on the conversations inside. So you didn't find him. My son didn't come back. The atmosphere in the villa's hall was quite solemn. Facing Dutong, who was full of the majesty of his superior and commanded respect, without even being angry, the others didn't even dare to breathe heavily. Only Su Rui wasn't afraid of him and said, Mayor Du, I'm the one who told everyone to come back. She explained, I think that since your son escaped from the school, he has surely received news of the safe zone. There's no need to waste time looking for him there. Dutong said nothing, merely staring at Su Rui. Su Rui wasn't afraid either. She looked right back at him, neither humble nor arrogant. A few minutes later, Dutong suddenly opened his mouth, and the silent atmosphere was instantly relieved. Officer Su has rich experience in rescue operations. Your judgment is definitely the most correct one. Mayor Du, you don't blame me for not bringing your son back. Of course not, Su Rui said lightly. How could I blame you? It was just a whim on my part. I made you guys take a trip for nothing. I'm sorry, Dutong showed on his face an apologetic smile while apologizing to Su Rui and the three people behind her. The mayor, such a big figure. Apologizing to them, the three had never experienced this. They hastily said with fear and apprehension, it's no trouble at all. It's a service for the mayor. Dutong waved his hand. Alright, is there anything else to report, Su Rui? Hesitated for a moment and said, we found other survivors at Binhai University? I see. I'll have other teams go rescue them. Without knowing why, Su Rui always felt that Dutong's attitude had something superficial and indifferent about it, but nothing objectionable could be found in his words. While Su Rui was thanking one of the three people to score points with the mayor, opened his mouth wide. Really? That truck, did you bring it back? No, Dutong frowned. Just as he was about to question them, the other person said, however, we brought back the survivor. Oh, Dutong was a bit puzzled. They didn't bring back the truck, but brought back the person. What kind of operation is this? The person explained, we wanted to requisition the truck, but the survivor stubbornly refused. Officer Su was on his side and didn't help us. That's not right of you, Officer Su Dutong said in a disapproving tone. You should know how important a truck capable of driving in the snow is for us. No matter what, we should have gotten our hands on the truck first, Su Rui said with a serious look. I know, but that survivor is also a citizen. I cannot, without his consent, forcibly take a citizen's property. Dutong was furious upon hearing this. How can this woman be so thick-headed? What time is it now, and she's still nitpicking over this? But Su Rui is indeed a rare combat force. Moreover, she has a service weapon. Dutong didn't want to fall out with her, so he couldn't say things too bluntly. Then why did you bring the person back? Su Rui explained on her own initiative. I just thought that he didn't want to lend us the truck because he was afraid of being in danger without it. So as long as he is safe, he won't need to keep the truck anymore. So did your idea succeed? No, Su Rui shook her head. He doesn't seem very reassured by our safe zone. So I invited him to come first. Take a look before deciding whether to move or not. I see. Dutong waved his hand. Go back first. Get some rest early. The three looked at each other, not understanding why Dutong had kept them behind, while letting Su Rui go back alone. Su Rui was also puzzled, but she didn't ask and left the villa. Only after Su Rui left did Dutong speak. Do you know why I kept the three of you? They shook their heads in unison. Su Rui, that woman is too principled, but in these times, that's not a good thing. So what I'm about to say must be kept from her. The three seemed to understand. Dutong narrowed his eyes slightly and continued, a truck, such an important means of transport, is of great use to our safe zone. We must get it, whether that person wants to or not. You get what I mean? They were stunned for a moment, then realized and nodded their heads repeatedly. Understood, understood. Go find an opportunity to bring that person here. I will talk to him. If he refuses, you will find another way. Dutong wasn't very explicit, but the people present got it. Not to mention outside, the MC had found a window through which the inside could be seen. Just as he was about to press his ear against it, he heard a voice coming from upstairs. Who are you? What are you doing in front of my house? Chapter 46. Tangchin, the mayor's wife, the MC, was startled by the sudden sound. But thanks to his strong mentality, he didn't give himself away. After forcing himself to calm down, he raised his head. He looked in the direction where the voice came from. After clearly seeing the adult's face, the MC was even briefly dazed for a moment. For a split second, the MC felt as if he had traveled back to ancient times. He had become Kim Ching, and Pan Jinlian was smiling down at him from upstairs. Snapping back to reality, he realized that he hadn't time traveled, and that the woman upstairs wasn't Pan Jinlian either, but her beauty was absolutely on that level. The MC even thought that she had a kind of gentleness and traditional womanly virtue that Pan Jinlian could never possess. The woman's hair was let down, dripping with water with a few drops, falling onto the MC's nose, narrowly missing his eyes. A subtle scent of shampoo wafted into his nostrils. Before the MC could speak, the woman spoke again. You must be Xiao Wang, old Wang's son. The MC's expression changed, and he was just about to ask why she was insulting him. The woman continued by saying, "You arrived just in time. The bathroom water pipe is clogged again. Please help me take a look. She is fine." The MC was secretly thrilled. Isn't this a perfect opportunity to infiltrate? Indeed, I am Xiao Wang. Come up, but don't use that door. Where's the back door? The woman just pointed to the spot right next to the MC. Only then did the MC notice it. It turned out the back door wasn't far away. He walked over and pulled the handle, discovering that it wasn't locked. He opened the door and walked inside. The view was a hallway leading to the front door. The living room was located in the middle of this hallway. When the MC walked in, he saw Surui leaving. He thought about it, approached stealthily, and pressed himself against the wall outside the living room. He strained his ears to listen. A truck, such an important means of transport. Whether that person wants to or not. You get what I mean. Find an opportunity. The MC heard this, and the disdain in his heart peaked. Wow, this mayor. His image is truly just as bright and grandiose as it is on TV. Xiao Wang Yu went the wrong way. It's over here. The woman the MC had seen earlier was a bit anxious, but she lowered her voice and called out. The MC had to snap out of it. He had to deal with this woman first. Coming. Shh. Keep your voice down. My husband is talking business. If you disturb him, he will get angry. The woman made a shushing gesture. Husband. So isn't this woman the mayor's wife? The mother of Du Yanxiang, the MC, was a bit surprised. He thought this woman was, at most, in her early 30s. She didn't look at all like she was already the mother of such a grown kid. But with that between him and this woman, there is also a major irreconcilable enmity. When the time comes, he will have to get rid of her too. A thought flashed through the MC's mind. He opened the system, named Tang Tin. Identity mayor's wife, housewife. Affection level. Initial reward mysterious. 100 kilograms of fruits and vegetables. At core member status. Initial reward. Ownership of 100 MU of land. Full guide reward. The land ownership area is increased to 1000 MU. The MC thought when he saw her status as the mayor's wife that he might get a special reward, like a city, but her reward is more related to being a housewife. It's a nice stack. The MC has planned it all out. When the right time comes, he will have her infected into a zombie and then use the virus vaccine. Snapping back to reality, the MC politely greeted Mrs. Tang. Tang Qin wasn't surprised that the MC knew her last name was Tang. She just thought it was his father, old Wang, who had told him, "Come with me." The MC followed her upstairs. Because of earlier reasons, the MC followed her upstairs due to earlier reasons. The MC's gaze remained perfectly locked onto her backside, and because Tang Qin was wearing a kippah, it accentuated her curves flawlessly, making her rear end stand out like crazy. The MC couldn't help but look. Tang Qin, feeling the burning gaze behind her, said to herself, "Has your father, old Wang, been doing well lately?" The MC was taken aback awkwardly, shifting his eyes upward. He's doing fine? That's good. Your father has been working for our family for a long time. The water and electricity issues were always fixed by him. I didn't think he would survive the zombie outbreak crisis. Good people really do get rewarded. However, your father is truly getting old. When I asked him to come fix this, he kept saying that his back wasn't doing well and that you had to be the one to come. The MC nodded along, playing the part. Yeah, my dad mentioned to me several times that we needed to fix the pipes at the mayor's wife's house. Here's my bedroom. Tang Qin stopped. The MC didn't notice and almost bumped into her. Fortunately, he reacted in time. She opened the door, and the MC followed her into the room. He curiously observed the bedroom's decor. Compared to the luxury of the villa, the bedroom of Tang Qin, the mayor's wife, was rather plain. What intrigued him even more was that there was only a single pillow on Tang Qin's bed. The furniture nearby, everything belonged to her alone. Was she sleeping separately from the mayor? Our MC didn't quite understand. If he had a wife this beautiful, sleeping separately would be out of the question. It's in here. I was washing my hair just now, and suddenly the water stopped. Tang Qin sighed helplessly. Our MC followed her into the bathroom, which wasn't very big either, with a glass door separating the dry and wet zones into two parts. Our MC stood with Tang Qin in this washing area. In an already small space, the entry of two adults made it feel even more cramped. And from a closer distance, our MC could more clearly smell the fragrance of her hair, like a lily-scented shampoo. I think it's because of this pipe look. It looks like there's a leak here. Tang Qin is clearly the type of woman from a wealthy family, raised with privilege since childhood, without any suspicion toward strangers. She bends over, with her back to our MC, her already impressive rear end, looking even rounder, stretching the fabric tight as if it were going to burst at any moment. Looking at the lower bodies of the two of them, getting closer and closer, our MC backed up, unconsciously by a step, causing his back to hit the glass partition door. Cornered, the posture of the two was very awkward. Our MC thought even if the mayor walked in at this moment and saw the posture of the two, would there be a misunderstanding? To the point of making him cough up blood. Before, when the water stopped, I turned this valve. Water came out of the shower head, but this time it doesn't work. To prove her words, Keen turned the valve again, but to her great surprise, they suddenly heard the sound of water rushing in the pipe. Before she could stand back up, the water from the shower head sprayed out, completely soaking the bodies of the two. Our MC is still doing fine, as he is wearing a down jacket, but Tangchin is in a bad spot because she likes it, and because the heating is turned on in the villa. It is not cold. She has therefore always worn a bathrobe, and being sprayed with cold water like this gave her a shiver. Chapter 47, Shoulder. Yikes, a cry that could easily trigger wild imaginations echoed in the bathroom. The already lightweight bathrobe, once wet, became a bit transparent, sticking to her skin, and one could vaguely see the skin underneath. Sorry, are you okay? Tangchin hastily turned off the valve. Then turning around, she said regretfully, let me wipe you down. The MC was stunned for a moment. It's no big deal. What's wrong? Tangchin pulled the MC aside. She took a dry towel and began to wipe down the MC. Oh, so that's what you were wiping. I thought. The MC let out a sigh of relief, but without knowing why, he seemed a bit disappointed. Sometimes the MC wondered if Tangchin was deliberately trying to seduce him, but seeing her sincere eyes, that didn't seem to be the case. One could only say that she was truly too naive. Even though her appearance and body were so mature, he saw Tangchin sneeze and then cover her mouth with her small hand and say with a blush, sorry, I'm going to go change first. Alright, go ahead. I'll study this pipe. When Tangchin came back after changing her clothes, the MC had already come out of the bathroom. So what's the issue? Tangchin asked. It's too cold, the pipe froze and cracked. Oh, what should we do then? Can it be fixed? The MC shook his head. I don't have tools with me. I'll have to come back next time. Alright, thanks for your trouble. Even though the MC didn't resolve Keen's problem, Tangchin didn't blame him at all. On the contrary, she thanked him sincerely. Take this. Consider it compensation for your efforts. The MC didn't refuse and put away the canned food. Then I'll leave it at that. Okay, let me walk you out. Tangchin accompanied the MC downstairs. While heading down the stairs, the MC took a calculated glance at the living room, but there was already no one left over there. Goodbye. Goodbye. After the MC left, Tangchin closed the door and turned around to see a young girl leaning against the wall, staring at her with a smirk. Jiajia, since when have you been standing there? Right when you and your little helper were in the bedroom. Do Jiajia mimic Tang? Mimic Tang? Keen's voice deliberately making it sound super flirty. Jiajia, you're misunderstanding. That was Xiao Wang. He's here to fix the plumbing. Tangchin hastily tried to explain, but Du Jiajia wasn't listening to her at all. What's gotten into my mom? Just because she's my mom doesn't mean she can seduce some guy with glasses. I'm honestly so ashamed of you. Du Jiajia was biting. While Tangchin has a gentle, almost cowardly personality. When it comes to arguing Tang, Keen is absolutely no match for Du Jiajia. She got so anxious that she almost cried, tears about to fall. Du Jiajia shook her head with deep disdain. This family is truly rotten to the core. A misogynistic macho father, shady deals, over some supplies, and now seducing some guy with glasses. Man, I seriously can't stay here for another second. Tangchin noticed then that Du Jiajia was wearing a coat and outdoor pants. She didn't bother to defend herself and asked with worry, where are you going dressed like that? None of your business. Du Jiajia walked right past Tang. Keen, without even looking at her, opened the door and left. Jiajia. Tangchin rushed to chase after her, but her clothes were too thin. She got too cold. After running a short distance and had to turn back. At the agreed spot, Surui had already been waiting for a while. Sorry, this neighborhood is too big. I got lost. Surui said she understood. It's no big deal. I've only been waiting for a bit. After the two chatted for a moment, Surui took the MC inside. You'll be living here for the next few days. The MC was a bit surprised. I'm living alone in such a huge house. Of course not just you. There are other people who will live with you. Surai explained that a portion of the residents had already turned into zombies. We cleared out their houses and used them as lodging for other survivors. I see the MC then asked, but won't the other residents have any objections? According to the MC's understanding, most rich people are narrow-minded. They can't stand seeing others get free stuff without working and receive the same treatment as them. The expression on Rui's face became a bit awkward. There is indeed a portion of the people who have objections, but they have all been resolved by Mayor Du afterward. Furthermore, how were they resolved? The survivors who came to seek refuge must work for the safe zone in exchange for shelter. Don't those former residents need to work? The MC was determined, absolutely wanting to know the real deal. Surui hesitated, and seeing her like this, the MC already got the picture. I get it. You don't have to answer. To maintain the image of the safe zone, said Surui. This is the only solution. Mayor Du did his best. The MC didn't argue with her, but asked, you have a lot of trust in Mayor. Duyo could say that. He's a mayor who does his best, and he is very fair. The MC disagreed. If you had heard Du Tong's conversation in the villa, you probably wouldn't think that. If I live here, do I also have to work? Surui nodded. Even if you only stay for a few days, during those few days, you must choose to join either the search team or the patrol team. This little chapter is not over yet, please. Click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. What's the difference? The search team must go out to find supplies and rescue survivors, while the patrol team must ensure the security of the Haitian district, as well as clear out zombies in the villas. In fact, there is also logistics, but those are positions offered to the elderly, weak, sick, and disabled. The MC obviously doesn't fit that, so if the MC wants to do something, it's better to choose to join the patrol team and ensure the security of the safe zone. At that moment, the sound of an argument came from in front of the villa, attracting the attention of the two. Why can't I live here? Miss Du, the people who live here can only be members of the patrol team or members of the search team. Then I'll just join the patrol team, alright? Miss Du, aren't you just putting me in a tough spot? Bidwan, who was in charge of housing management, had a helpless look. He originally said this to dissuade Dutong's family. But who would have thought he'd dig himself into a hole if Mayor Du found out that he let his daughter join the patrol team? Wouldn't he skin him alive? Why am I putting you in a tough spot? Du Jiajia got angry? I don't care. Anyway, you must find me a room. What's going on, old Bisu? Ri walked toward the two arguing people. Su Roy has a good reputation in the safe zone. After all, she is a police officer, not to mention that she has a gun in her hand. So Bidwan knows her well too. Seeing her was like seeing a savior. Officer Su, you came at the perfect time. Miss Du insists on joining the patrol team, and I can't stop her. Help me convince her, said Bidwan. Chapter 48, Temporary Housing. Su Rui often goes in and out of the mayor's house, so she naturally knows this daughter of the mayor as well. Miss Du, you want to join the patrol team? Do you have the permission of your father, Mayor Du, the MC? Heard this and began to look carefully at Dutong's daughter. Black hair with a dyed white streak and smoky makeup on her face, she looks very rebellious. It's just that her face is beautiful and her figure is excellent otherwise. She would really look like a basic emo girl. If Suroi hadn't said so, the MC really wouldn't have been able to tell that she is Tang Qin's daughter. The difference in style between these two people is just too massive. The MC opened the system and started checking. Name Du Jiajia, Identity Mayor's daughter, rebellious teen. Affection level, 0 stranger. Initial reward Harley. Motorcycle charm mastery, a few training techniques. Core member reward arcade. Full guide reward amusement park. The reward is pretty mid, so the MC isn't very interested. Maybe because the amount of time the MC spent staring at her was too long. Du Jiajia noticed it. She glared at the MC and said, "What are you looking at? Have you never seen a beautiful woman before?" Du Jiajia didn't recognize the MC. She had only heard the noises coming from her mother's bedroom, and then caught a glimpse of the MC's silhouette when Tang Qin walked him to the door. This girl isn't big, but she sure has a nasty attitude. The MC didn't bother with her. He looked away. Du Jiajia thought the MC was scared and said with contempt, "Coward." She turned around and said to Su Rui, "I don't need his permission. I can do whatever I want." That doesn't work. The roster for the patrol team must be submitted to Mayor Du. Only if he approves can you join. Don't use Du Tong as a shield, Su Rui said, shutting down Du Jiajia's attitude. Du Jiajia was a bit annoyed, but she still said, "Then go ask him. He will definitely agree."